we are going to hand over. And if Captain Strasser decides to change his mind, and I am part of that group, I was not ready to be a part. The two of you have an interest that is inimical to the interest of this nation. I will not follow you. Even if we have agreed, I will break that agreement.
One example, at one stage I thought we don't have more than $30 million just for economic development projects. To build one road alone, 1 kilometer of road costs you nearly $1 million. To have 1 kilowatt of electricity.
I get opportunity for change. Now that's me they tell una. Una forget mine. Let nobody no hide behind tribe or something else. Then you go beg una bell una. Una put her inside, and pocket they full up. Somebody talk about declaration of assets. Yes, we all for commit. All of us for declare we assets. Me, I believe that all of us, but enough for be one person, everybody for do one.
You see, even the banks in Nigeria, they own them, Lebanese own them, Indian man they own them, now Chinese don't take over now. You not gonna believe this. When you go, Ibrahim, Sierra Leone, you go really know say we Sierra Leoneans them, we don't left back, we don't be third class. You see Wilkinson Road, you go about in all them big mansions, the hotel, now foreigners that own them.
Definitely the issue of Sam Sumana forming a coalition, for me, I'm focused on my main agenda at this moment. That is to make sure that I bring back justice for the people of Sierra Leone at the ECOWAS court.
I think we have been fighting corruption in this country based on legislative procedures, legislation. But that's one step. I call it the one-legged solution. If we want to address the issue of corruption in Sierra Leone, we're serious about it. Those that are behind the desk of trust need to understand that they are there to serve the people, not to serve themselves.
Hello, my family, welcome to Sheriff's Broadcast Network, the place who will bring Africa live to whosoever you day. Of course, today we start a little late, but don't mind it. Of course, we get plenty issues then for presenting us. So today, to now, of course, as we always can do every weekend, of course, today we get for present to una. We get for continue for bring you updates on the political trends in the country, waiting some of the political parties they don't do, and of course we know say the president don't go ahead for sack two of in ministers them now the government, of course a minister of social welfare, gender and children's affairs, of course Dr. Sylvia Blyden, in deputy, Rugia to Nene Toure. Of course, they don't sack the all two right now. Now that they go on, and this not to the first time for let the president go sack ministers in another very ministry, and so we get for take a look at that exclusively. We also get for take a look at waiting the newspapers then as Sierra Leone the reports, don't report over the week. We get for bring that to you as well. And of course, we get for bring come to you an exclusive interview where we get with the presidential candidate for the National Democratic Alliance, the NDA, Mr. Mohamed C. We talked to him exclusively from in house, now Atlanta, Georgia, and of course, a day on the way for sojourn back to Sierra Leone. And so we talk on a lot of issues as a presidential candidate vying for the highest political office in Sierra Leone. We're able to grill him with some questions on how he got able to tackle some of the problems in the country. And so we'll therefore bring all of that to an applause, a news update. So with the ask that you stick around with we as we continue for bring you the program. Stick around with us.
We said we are going to hand over. And if Captain Strasser decides to change his mind, and I am part of that group, I was not ready to be a part. The two of you have an interest that is inimical to the interest of this nation. I will not follow you. Even if we have agreed, I will break that agreement.
One example, at one stage I thought we don't have more than $30 million just for economic development projects. To build one road alone, 1 kilometer of a road costs you nearly $1 million. To have 1 kilowatt of electricity.
I get opportunity for change. Now that's me they tell una forget mind. Let nobody no hide behind tribe or something else. Then you go beg bell una put her inside, now pocket they full up. Somebody talk about declaration of assets. Yes, we all for commit. All of us for declare we assets. Me, I believe that all of us, but enough for be one person, everybody for do one.
You see, even the banks there in Nigeria, they own them, Lebanese own them, India man they own them, now Chinese don't take over now. You not gonna believe this. When you go, Ibrahim, Sierra Leone, you go really know say we Sierra Leoneans them, we don't left back, we don't be third class. You see Wilkinson Road, you go about in all them big mansions, the hotel, now foreigners that own them.
Definitely the issue of Sam Sumana forming a coalition, for me, I'm focused on my main agenda at this moment. That is to make sure that I bring back justice for the people of Sierra Leone at the ECOWAS court.
I think we have been fighting corruption in this country based on legislative procedures, legislation. But that's one step. I call it the one-legged solution. If we want to address the issue of corruption in Sierra Leone, we're serious about it. Those that are behind the desk of trust need to understand that they are there to serve people, not to serve themselves.
We say no, we go vote wisely.
And this time here, Boko people they aspire for the presidency. But this time, we serve when are the people then for know the kind possible for votes for. Where tomorrow we go gladly and say salon do better. Because the decision what we they make during election time will determine if salon go sweet for we all. so make we vote, yeah.
Election time don't reach oh, na salon. Time for votes don't reach oh, na salon. Now you right for votes, grab go vote. Tomorrow make you not say if I be no. Election time don't reach oh, na salon. Time for votes don't reach oh, na salon. Now you right for votes, grab go vote. Tomorrow make you not say if I be no. Take fine oh, be fumble. Remember good oh, be fumble. How you want salon for day oh, now the time don't reach so. Grab go vote for who that you want make it lead way.
Election time don't come again. Fambo then na for think well oh. This country for me we focus. As you all the votes for who that go make mama salo sweet again. Not to them this for first and you can kill me brother. I let you not be what be said. There is again. We all now one people. You know what libena jarama. We all now one people. So make we live for them tia. When they make salon they cry. Make we live for them tia. When they make salon they cry. Make we live tribalism, nepotism. Make we come together. Make we live tribalism, nepotism. Make we come together as one.
APC, EMDC, NGC, ADP, PDP, Akwamuko Yabate. Salonweji, Mupele Mwomye.
Election time don't reach oh, na salon. Time for votes don't reach oh, na salon. Now you right for votes, grab go vote. Tomorrow make you not say if I be no. Election time don't reach oh, na salon. Time for votes don't reach oh, na salon. Now you right for votes, grab go vote. Tomorrow make you not say if I be no.
So, obi akwati man chakato. Ndate ituma so. Obi akwati man chakato. The time don't pass for say I dey vote for party. The time don't pass for say I dey vote for color. That time don't pass for say I dey vote for family. Party business. All of business, Fambu business, 9 down pues alone. Now we come out north, now we come out south, now we come out east, now we come out west. Argentina, 9 down pues alone. West alone fine, he go fine for we all. West alone point, he go point for we all. Take them for vote. Take time for votes. Vote for your conscience. Vote for the right man. Vote for your conscience for next salon. Salon man.
Politicians go come and give we all them plans. But make we be wise. Make we detect all the lies. If salon good now for we all. If it boil we all go suffer. So think twice, oh, and cast your vote. Yeah, make we cast we vote.
Now the same is for we all. Sierra Leonean for make a present
Election time don't reach oh, na salon. Time for votes don't reach oh, na salon. Now you right for votes, grab go vote. Tomorrow make you not say if I be no. Election time don't reach oh, na salon. Time for votes don't reach oh, na salon. Now you right for votes, grab go vote. Tomorrow make you not say if I be no.
You dey ada, ade obaya so. You know me nothing no. We all are one family. Na salon you dey papa no both pan party. You know me nothing no. We all are one family. Na salon election same go go. It go pass. Then go dey chill and enjoy the left with pan yakba. Do ya me brother and sister them let we not fight we say for election time go go.
Now you right me brother, not so bad right, na civil right. And when you vote for the right person, me sister, salon go bright. We no go know the difference between day and night. We just go dey move from height to height. Now so we all go dey feel alright.
You see this election where they come now this nation. We really need for change with perception. No vote for person because in a mende. No vote for person because in a timini. No vote for person because in a limba. Now this we don't do say we dey cry. Vote for development because it's salon sweet. It's sweet for we all. If salon spoil, it spoil for we all. And for change the way. One bag rest, no dey give we development. Better pack, no dey give we development. Set pest and cause, no dey give we development. Make we change the way.
Woman self get the eyes for body oh. Do you let we no left na us yo. Once you know 18 years and you be don register, make we tell the other for push salon go before. Vote for the right policy, we go bring development. We go better salon for we pikin dem mama. Hey, for we pikin dem mama.
Election time don't reach oh, na salon. Time for votes don't reach oh, na salon. Now you right for votes, grab go vote. Tomorrow make you not say if I be no. Election time don't reach oh, na salon. Time for votes don't reach oh, na salon. Now you right for votes, grab go vote. Tomorrow make you not say if I be no.
Yeah, okay, it's a election. Now for balance the gun motor. The biggie man a 5-5, each man them the gun motor. Now for balance the biggie man a 5-5, election time the gun motor. I say the biggie man a 5-5, I say a balance the gun motor. For avoid ala ya, balance the gun motor. Each man them the biggie man a 5-5, balance the gun motor.
Now the whole dance here. Salon for me, salon for you, and salon for we all.
Yes, me family, and of course, election time don't come. You know, not to the time this way you get for use sentiments for make a very important decision. You know one for votes because of Pega Pack. You know one for votes because of Bagres. You know one for votes on sentiment. Because you see that these saloon people that we are very good at this. Every time we decision making time come. And especially when you talk about critical decision making. You know, time will for make decision for the next 5 years. You know, we'll grab with the talk say, oh, we country they bien, oh, we they pan suffer, we not get food for it. Now, the future of Sierra Leone is quietly in our hands. A left to we for let we make a decision as to waiting what they do. So this is not the most time way Sierra Leoneans, the ordinary Sierra Leonean, you way out there, you are so very important. You are so very powerful. And you know, this message they go as well to we Sierra Leoneans within the diaspora. You know, because plenty time, and they hold on the year way. Some of the company they talk say, oh, we not mix pan politics. Me, I not like politics. But right now, as we did at the diaspora, we whole heart na saloni day. Because it is just natural that there is no place like home. Anytime where you remember your home, especially when you grow up as a child, or where you can even go back on vacation, with all the predicament in the country, you see get good time. And so if anything go wrong, may the Lord forbid, you will be affected directly or indirectly. And so now that make it very important, because I know say we were in the diaspora, we're there in our thousands. And each one of us has a bunch of family members, friends, and other cohorts them where if you tell them talk, then they listen to you. And we all don't come live in the most advanced democracies around the globe. And so we understand with people that they live, you know, they're ignorant about some of the facts, because when the politicians then go, they're not they give them the truth. They're not they tell them waiting at the truth. And so they take advantage of the ignorance of our people for lure them into deception, for lure them into other failures. I mean, can you imagine? Like I've been listening another program, you know, I've been listening another program where they call Hot Issues, now an African program, where they interview the presidential candidate of the APC. The man with the interview, now he talks, he says, Sierra Leone, you guys have all the resources. Why do you continue to suffer? So meaning that even the one that way they are abroad, we're not to Sierra Leone, they're born, they already know we country. They know say, we're not supposed to suffer. And you know, when they ask that man the question, it happened for be the one way being sit down at the hot seat. Because any other leader can sit down there, they can ask you the same question and they feel embarrassed. But when the man sit down there, they ask that question, he try for answer the question, it is smile. I mean, this is a very difficult, embarrassing question where you're not supposed to smile about. We have all these resources, so if our people are still suffering, then it means you guys within a lead position of leadership, you don't have the capability, the ability, the metal for like able for effectively manage the resources that God don't give you. That is simple, right? And so election time don't come. Now Sierra Leone, it is another time where Sierra Leoneans, they want to get for drop all sentiments. Not vote for somebody because now you're into being going at the same school, or at the same tone when I come out, or when they talk the same language, when they go praying at the same mosques, or when be your friend at college. Don't vote on those things. Vote for somebody where you know say, by waiting the common in mouth, and by waiting it don't do in the past, you know say, this person here so, if I vote for him, maybe he go able to help this country move forward. Right? So now the theme of our broadcast today, right here at Sheriff's Broadcast Network. And based on your suggestions, you had asked us to every week the broadcast, let us bring some information on health. And so we get for continue for do that again today. We get for bring come to you information on health. So we want for me to stick around as we continue for bring you the program. Of course, Mina Ibrahim Sheriff, Namige for be host now so for the next hour or so. So one for me is sit tight. Of course, if this is not your first time for joining, we want for officially welcome you to Sheriff's Broadcast Network. Stick around.
attacks are the type of condition that comes without an announcement. So many people get struck with it when they are alone and have to struggle without any help. If you suddenly feel that you are about to faint and that your heart beats wrong, you have just approximately 10 seconds before you lose your consciousness. But people actually do not know that they can help themselves. To achieve this, the most important thing is not to lose the consciousness. Start coughing as hard as you can and not to panic. Take a deep breath every time before you cough. Cough long and deeply enough, as if you were trying to get rid of something from your lungs. Cough and breathe every 2 seconds, without taking breaks, until the doctors can reach you, or until your heartbeats return to normal. Coughing is a sort of compression, and deep breaths allow the oxygen to enter in your lungs. This helps your blood flow and heart to function normally. This kind of pressure helps your heart balance its rhythm. This is the perfect way to avoid any further damage, at least until the doctor comes. So share this knowledge with as many people as you can, as you might save someone's life. Cardiologists guarantee that at least one life can be saved, if only one person shares this information with 10 people. If you have a question, please, let us a comment and we will try to answer you as soon as possible. Share this video and subscribe to our channel. Visit us on greatlefiandmore.com. Heart attack.
Right, of course, so me fun with them. Now the head tips that for this week, and of course, as you know, Sheriff's Broadcast Network, we always can listen to una out there. That suggestion they come out from una, the listeners and the viewers. Now when I say how they do that, and so I think say that information they very plausible about how to avoid heart attack, and of course, waiting you go do for let you stay healthy. All right, if you say beneficial to we all. So, my family, we get for continue for bring the programs to you, and of course, right now we get for bring come to now waiting the newspapers then report in the past week na Sierra Leone for able for know, especially going to close to the elections in the country. We need for all fair we serve with waiting the newspapers then the reports in the country. So, one for me, stick around as we make that possible for you. Stick around with us. Everyone, welcome to Sheriff's Broadcast Network Newsroom. Here are news summary reported by various news media outlets in Sierra Leone. We begin with the Awoko newspaper for Tuesday, September 19, 2017. NEC resubmits nomination fees. The Deputy Minister of Justice, John Arobokori, on behalf of the National Electoral Commission, NEC, tabled the statutory instrument number 115 of 2017 in the House of Parliament This instrument being the proposed nomination fee for the 2018 general elections was thrown out of Parliament on grounds that it has many anomalies and not properly before the House. On Thursday, 16 November 2017, the Director of Media and External Relations of the NEC, Albert Masakwe, disclosed that the Commission has addressed the concerns which led to the document being thrown out the first time. The Commission has submitted the reviewed document to the Office of the Attorney General for it to be tabled in Parliament yesterday. The end of the lifespan of Parliament is exactly 21 days. We hope it will be tabled and approved. If the fees are not passed, we will use the existing ones. If they are passed, it will open up the democratization process, Masakwe added. Civil society organizations, CSOs, were concerned with the time within which the document was to be tabled in Parliament and stressed the need for Parliament to pass the proposed fees into law. The proposed fees are as follows. Presidential aspirants, 30 million leones. Ordinary members of Parliament, 3 million leones. Paramount Chiefs Member of Parliament, 3 million leones. Mayor, councillors, 1,500,000. Village head, 250,000. The nomination process for the conduct of village head elections will commence on Wednesday, 22nd to 29th November 2017. 123 villages are expected to conduct nominations for all aspirants. In another news, Umaru Fofana, a BBC reporter based in Sierra Leone and one of the founders of Political Sierra Leone, stated in a piece that he wrote about the APC style of governance, especially tackling corruption and bad governance practices by its ministers. In March 2016, Mwejo Kakai and Mustafa Bai Attila were sacked as Sierra Leone's Minister and Deputy Minister of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs, respectively. It followed their involvement in a disgraceful, distasteful, and disgusting public brawl of humiliating proportions. There was an outcry, but in a country of sensation and cover-up, we let that pass, without demanding that the allegations made in that public brouhaha be looked into, it, if only to warn of any such in the future. In 2014, the State House Chief of Staff, Dr. Richard Conte, was sacked for his alleged involvement in the export of timber when there was a ban on the trade. A State House press release stated that the President had in fact instructed Dr. Conte to allow the export, but of a certain quantity only, which he allegedly exceeded. No one was concerned about the fact that the President had given what at the very least amounted to an appropriate instruction for the shipment, no matter the amount, when the ban on the trade had still not been lifted. The Deputy Minister of Education, Mahmoud Tarawali, was sacked following allegations that he raped a university student who'd asked for a favor to benefit from an overseas scholarship. We all know how overseas scholarships are awarded in this country. Apart from the U.S. Embassy, who award theirs themselves, and competitively so, virtually every other is based on partisan interests. Mr. Tarawali would later be controversially acquitted by a magistrate court on the grounds that the sex was consensual. No one, not even women's groups, would be bothered by the fact that even if the sex was consensual, this was a state official in the education ministry sleeping with a female student in apparent exchange for a scholarship. That is nothing short of an abuse of office, hence a corruption offense. Next, we heard he'd been reappointed as Deputy Minister Abate in another ministry. Now, the ladies who replaced the gentlemen as Gender and Children's Minister and Deputy have also been sacked for the same reason their predecessors were shown the door for. Being the usual public that we are, we've been blown away by the frenzy. The good job done by the SAC officials has been lost in us. With 3 months to election, inter and intra-party squabbles plus the gullibility frenzy has taken away. There's no love lost between Dr. Sylvia Blyden and me, but truth be told, she did some remarkable things in trying to fight theft and other wastage in that ministry, even if her approach could be faulted. Her advice in the Muslim pilgrimage, if heeded, would have saved those Muslims, some of them pretty old men, and women the humiliation the last Hajj brought about. For all who know, those investigations may soon collapse. When last did you hear about them? Has one of them not been given a party executive positions? By the latter questions, I'm not blaming it on Anti-Corruption Commission. The earlier our political parties set standards for appointing their officials, the better for our system of governance. Rugiatu Nene Koroma Ni Ture may have her limitations, but we all do. But she is a very hard-working and remarkable woman. I've known her since her days at Mitimaga College of Education. She is a lifelong campaigner against FGM, and she has made no secret about that. Her boss has had some romance with those who initiate women into that very FGM. That is her right, doubted less. But to have appointed 2 women so dramatically opposed to each other on a key agenda in that ministry was the most fundamental blunder President Nkrumah made, a recipe for conflict and dysfunction. But let's leave that and concern ourselves with some of the issues raised in what would be their last radio interview as minister and deputy. When Kakai and Attila were sacked, the reasons for their broad were never looked into. Attila raised issues of marginalization, brinksmanship, the lack of tools needed to function such as vehicle, tires not being replaced, fair gallonage not given, overseas trips, abuse, etc. The office in charge of public officials, I don't care to know what it's called because it seems ineffective. They didn't bother to look into these anomalies, let alone correct them. And I know for certain that they exist in other ministries too. Mrs. Nkrumah is now saying that she had cause to twice spend the ride on the road due to defective tires to her vehicle, blaming it on Dr. Blyden. I do not think that is for the minister to deal with where things function as they should. Now, no minister should scratch their heads to have their vehicle fixed or fuel. That is provided the use of the vehicles is for official state functions only. The use of state vehicles here is such that you don't know when it ceases to be for the state, a political party, or just some personal stuff. So much so that registration plates are covered with black cloth in broad daylight. Also, there is a dispute between a minister and their deputy. Is the resolution of such the business of their political party as stated by Mrs. Nkrumah, or should there be a state institution to handle that? And Parliament is not helping either. For weeks and possibly months, they have been named in some of the allegations around the same ministry, and they've been reticent at best. The House should set a partisan interest aside and put the kibosh on issues affecting the functioning of the state. Until we get our governance right, until public offices function as they should and officials behave as mandated, these frictions are bound to continue. And the lack of a proper internal means of seeking a redress only means they spill over to the public domain in unpleasant ways. Consequently, the mind and time of officials will continue to shift from fighting for the well-being of the state to fighting each other in their own parochial interest. And the state suffers. We all suffer. That was by Umar Fofana of the BBC. In another news reported by Sierra Express Media on November 18, 2017, Madabio presents policies to address critical development challenges in Sierra Leone. Retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, the 2018 Sierra Leone People's Party SLPP presidential candidate, conducted his presentation, New Direction, Policies to Address the Critical Development Challenges in Sierra Leone, at Radisson Blue Mami Yoko Hotel, Aberdeen, Freetown, laying out his vision for Sierra Leone in the presence of members of the diplomatic community, non-governmental organizations, advocacy and civil society groups, and the press. Following is his presentation. As promised in my acceptance speech on October 15, 2017, I am here this morning to elaborate on the 5 priorities I highlighted. These priorities are aligned with the global strategy of sustainable development goals and consistent with cooperation agreements with donors and NGOs. News from Salon today says, I narrowly escaped death. Sam Sumana exposes Koroma. Alhaji Abubakar Siddiqui Samuel Sam Sumana, Ernest by Koroma, New Age newspaper, Sierra Leone News, President Koroma Presidential Guard, Vice President of Sierra Leone. The elected but relieved Vice President of Sierra Leone, Alhaji Abubakar Siddiqui Samuel Sam Sumana, has exposed the President of Sierra Leone, Ernest by Koroma. Sam Sumana was speaking to the Voice of America VOA, where he described his former boss, Ernest by Koroma, as a dictator. He disclosed how he was inhumanely treated by President Koroma because he was against the extension of his term beyond the Constitution at 2 terms of 5 years each. I was told by someone that I have to leave my house or I will be killed, and as a result, I therefore went to the university for my life, Sam Sumana claimed. He said that he later called on the head of the Presidential Guard, who told him he was ordered by President Koroma to remove all his security, even though he was still a sitting vice president. My second was precipitated by the fact that the president wanted an unconstitutional 3rd term, and I did not subscribe to it. I know President Koroma better. Based on the fact that he did not succeed for a 3rd term, of course, could also not secure himself an extension of 2 years. His best bet was to do what he did to me. Sumana uncovered. He stated that the APC got him out of the way because getting him out would have prepared Koroma's operation of 3rd term, but with the intervention of international community and the people of Sierra Leone, he failed woefully. He explained that he never abandoned his job and that even the U.S. Embassy explained that he did not go there at any point to seek for asylum. News from the Sierra Leone Telegraph reports that President Koroma sacks Social Welfare Minister Dr. Sylvia Blyden after standing up against corruption. After 10 years of presiding over one of the most corrupt regimes in Africa, President Koroma yesterday once again proved his lack of leadership skills and knowledge of how to run a government when he sacked the only minister who has been overtly consistent in standing up against corruption in the country. Dr. Sylvia Blyden yesterday afternoon sacked along with her Deputy Minister Mrs. Nene Rugi Toure in the Social Welfare Ministry after her Deputy Minister broke cabinet protocol and went to a local radio station to make serious allegations of corruption against Dr. Blyden. This is a statement from State House announced yesterday, 23rd November 2017. The general public is hereby informed that His Excellency the President Ernest Bai Koroma has decided to relieve Dr. Sylvia Olayinka Blyden and Mrs. Rugia Tunene Toure of their duties as Minister and Deputy Minister, respectively, in the Ministry of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs. In consequence thereof, it has pleased His Excellency the President to assign Ms. Aissata Kabia as Minister of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs with immediate effect. On 7th March last year, 2016, President Nkrumah sacked his 2 former ministers, Alhaji Mwenjoe Kakai and Mustafa Bai Attila, who were in charge of the same Ministry of Social Welfare after fighting broke out in the ministry between the two. Although ministerial brawls and fist fights are nothing new among President Nkrumah's cabinet ministers and senior government officials, yesterday's sacking of the popular minister Blyden had nothing to do with fist fights, but a vicious war of words that started after the appointment of Mrs. Nene Toure as Dr. Blyden's deputy minister. That is the news from Sheriff's Broadcast Network, as reported by various media outlets in Sierra Leone. And so now we go back to the studio for the rest of the broadcast. Thank you very much.
Man. If they talk about tonight,
you want to say man?
You know the way they say never make violence during
you want to say man
before the election. Okay, you go catch and say
you want to say man.
You are hereby sentenced to 25 years imprisonment for stabbing with intention to kill.
Mama, so now you born that pikin. Where been took a copy per main man in rallies?
Yes.
Oh, that they cannot come. Where the person not be died. Because if the person be died, now life imprisonment. Look now, main man in the corn with the rally, he pikin, then don't sentence at 25 years. Do you, Mama? How much years did I pikin they want to?
20.
Oh, 20 plus 25. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Oh, 20 plus 25. Now 45. Say begin the comment in a door. It could not turn the adult. Oh!
Yes, sir. Yeah, I show you legality because they fight for the poor one.
Legal?
Yes.
When Nada, you are in hand with UNDP. Where them did they tell people that they want them. Let party not make violence. But this 2018 election, nada they go. I want see them.
You come round, warn you pikin, you brother, you uncle, you cousin, you buddy, you sister. Let them avoid violence. And this 2018 election, this message they come to you from Legal Aid and UNDP.
Right, of course, the message is loud and clear to all we brothers and sisters where they back home, where they try for perpetrate violence, and of course. They want the way, you know, na politicians that they run for positions, but then believe say na through violence, then go able for make them. Now, you they put Sierra Leonean children into jeopardy because Legal Aid and the UNDP, they don't combine and they are working together to combat anything like that. So, they don't even create a special fund where they give the police, now the country, just for crackdown on anybody we decide say they perpetrate violence by this coming election. So whosoever you day, if they really, this not a clear warning to you for let you go avoid that. You know, because people that can take this election business to the extreme. You know, plenty of people then they stab, then compete them. We don't see evidence of that. Then they stab people, then they do all kinds of things. So this 2018 election coming, you know, mix man that. And so before we ask when I've been get the news, you know, from Freetown, Sierra Leone, as reported by various news media houses. Of course, we know see the number one issue is that the president don't sack both the minister and deputy minister of Ministry of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs in Sierra Leone. And of course, this is not to the first time. You know, where the president is sack ministers in that ministry. It look like say that ministry there we need for do some cleansing at that ministry. We need for do go put some cold water in that ministry because it look like say all the one where they put there now then they really like make APC government or Honest by Chroma look bad. You know, because most of them sacking or termination of service they come from minor stuff them, you know. Where they, I mean, the ministers and they do bad to the deputies and so much that they're not able to bear again that they take into the public domain, just like how you know Omar Fofana writes, right? And so Nadana, one of the news, of course, Dr. Sylvia Blyden and Rugiato Nene Toure, they are two that don't sack them. Aissata Kabia, 9 in charge right now at the Ministry of Social Welfare. Now that's go on today. Of course, few more months to the end of the APC era. Or if they win, then come up with another era. But at least a few more months for Sierra Leone go into elections. Now that the president too. And of course, the next thing way important inside that news, of course, what they do now, they discuss matters that arose from that news. The other thing is, you know, say, it don't barely left a little under 21 days for let the parliament go dissolve in Sierra Leone, right? Under 21 days, it not reach 21 days again, maybe not 18 or 17 days more. According to the Constitution of Sierra Leone, the Parliament of the Republic of Sierra Leone should be dissolved because of the elections where they come, because the Parliament for dissolved 3 months to elections. So if we're looking at December, January, February, they match the elections, so therefore dissolve, right? So, but the National Electoral Commission, where now the body this way they handle all the election business in the country, they get one statutory instrument where very important, where they be one for Kegona Parliament for discourse and make a decision or maybe vote on, you know. And that statutory instrument, 115, where now the determination we then get for make on the candidature fees, just like our report inside the news. Matter of fact, let's bring that to you. Right, so just like how we report inside this news, the candidature fees then way now the new candidature fees then, because now that may not the military for understand whether they set then candidature fees there, so whether they set them up, you know. But waiting we're able to understand is that the presidential aspirants then they are supposed to pay 30 million leones, which is about $3,928, almost $4,000. Members of parliament then for pay 3 million leones, when about the same amount. Well, actually, it will be 30 million. 3 million, actually, 3 million. So that figure up here is not correct. It will be $392.84, right? Members of Parliament. Same as member of Parliament, when are the paramount chief, then when they go to Parliament, then say for pay the same $392 when are 3 million leones. And of course, then one they will divide for be mayors and councillors, 1,500,000 leones with $196. And of course, the village headmen. So even the one within a village where they want for be chief of them, 250,000 leones with $32. Well, you know, looking at these numbers, I can want to ask the question as to which are the opportunity costs in this democratic dispensation, which are the opportunity costs to Sierra Leoneans, where would they charge their money they are so for, say, anybody where you did have for position in Sierra Leone, you get for pay their money there. Which are the opportunity cost? Of course, then when they do economics, they know say opportunity cost of anything, now the price where you they pay because of something where you want, right? Where you say, I want for be, you know, president of a country, the price where you they pay now 30 million. Or, you know, to Sierra Leoneans, waiting at the opportunity cost of them payments they are so in a democratic dispensation. Let us assume, say, somebody they will not get no money, but this person here is so intelligent in brain, it gets all the skills, all the ideas that for able for solve Sierra Leone's problem. But it not get money, and the political party where they had the political party not get money. So for say that person they being citizen of the country where don't qualify, it don't cross all the threshold, all the qualifications, except the money where you not get neither the one qualification. For say if you not get that money, they not go qualify for stand for them position there. So that is the question. But then plenty of people then go talk say, well, according to the constitution, you get for belong to a political party before. And the political party get for agree and either select or elect you as their presidential candidate for you to run for that office. And if a whole political party come together, they should be able to afford that money. So that can be the answer to that question. And of course, once more, this now the fees that where they don't charge for, you know, now the fees that where they don't charge for all the aspirants, them the one that where it's now for positions. Now Sierra Leone in this election where they come, right? Now that's they don't charge. And so me fun with them, we get for continue for come to now. Of course, we get for continue for present the programs then to Unanaya. But just like I would don't tell you, not forget for say we been get a host, a guest Naya. So today we interview. And of course now one part of the presidential candidates that we get for run in the 2018 elections. And of course, this post here, post will not appear now with channels or now we station, but it happened for appear today. Of course, now the presidential candidate for the National Democratic Alliance, the NDA, of course, now another vibrant political party. We don't there around since multi-party democracy was reintroduced back to Sierra Leone in the 90s, 1991 to be very precise. The NDA has always been there. So the presidential candidate of that party was interviewed here on key issues, you know, in the country, how it go on for solve the country's problem. So we get for talk to him exclusively. So now I may go any side. Next, we get for talk to you about a visit where Dr. Kande Kole Yumkela make to Kabbalah this weekend, and then we'll go talk about them. So one for me, stick around as we bring the program to you. Stick around. That's now Freetown. I mean, then a Kabbalah, of course. Dr. Kande Koleyom Kela made a visit to that part of the country, not the north. And of course, it looked like, say, KKY, they make inroads in the politics of the country. And so, now, in the and of course, some man be they ask, they say, well, this is my inside 4 months or 5 months, how it go able for make an impact? They say, well, the man not serious. But then, we they see steadily the NGC they amass the population. But anyway, in order to reach here to that point, according to all analysis, what we don't make, you know, now the station also we don't make analysis of, you know, the two popular candidates inside this race where they come. Well, actually not in three, but the two where they at the top. Now, Julius Madabio and Kande Yumkela right now then they, you know, amass the crowd, now the country. Of course, followed by Mohamed Cameron by Mansoure. Instead get some crowd. But whenever we compare, anytime we Madabio step outside, a mass in foot outside, the kind crowd where they come around them, and we compare them to waiting Kande they get, any side way mass. Kande not don't reach it Madam level, but still we get up to 3 months before elections. But for let it start from when Usai been start and able for amass this kind of population, at least at again credit. And now a very important way for let SLPP then get a concern about a man like this, because it is seriously threatened and both saying right about this time. I mean, no matter how we look at Kande Yomkela is a force to reckon with in the Sierra Leonean politics. We are not for overlook him. Just like how himself not for overlook, he should not be complacent. So, you know, the entire political scenery is then look very interesting, and at that would expect now make one for there shouldn't be any violence, there shouldn't be any problem. Everything for go fine. All right? Okay, and so me fam with them, as you can remember, about 2 weeks ago, we've been get an exclusive interview with the sacked elected vice president of Sierra Leone, Alhaji Abubakar Sidiki Samsumana. And in that interview, been get for disclosure and to we for say November 22nd of 2017, we don't pass 2 days ago, that's now in the ECOWAS Community Court being supposed for pass a judgment on the case where been cargo now that ECOWAS court day for, you know, according to him, on behalf of the people of Sierra Leone. Because you know say the judgment where the Supreme Court of Sierra Leone be passed on that case, they not been fear, not necessarily for him, but for Sierra Leone, because we not want for let that precedent they repeat anymore, wherein a president go just grab a sack in vice president where the people of Sierra Leone don't vote for, in just sack him and replace him with another vice president without consulting parliament, without consulting, you know, other important entities than within the country. So because of that, the 22nd of this month, neither before past judgment on that case, now the ECOWAS court. So would they bring come to you that interview where I be asking what he been say, right? So let's see that. you know, as I said about the court, that now the ECOWAS courts when they can go after when the Supreme Court don't pass judgment on that case, they will cite the president unconstitutionally sack you from the office of vice president. You decide for take the case to the ECOWAS court. Now, you go able for Giwi a status of who side that case done they now at this point?
Well, the case, a Sierra Leone case, not so for me alone, because when the people of Sierra Leone be given the mandate for govern from 2007 to 2012, and further go on for giving another mandate 2012 to 2017. Well, with that, President Nkrumah violates the mandate of the people in Guinea of Sierra Leone by removing the vice president who they vote for, when Sam Sumana. But not to me alone, but now the people of Sierra Leone, then right President Nkrumah violates by acting otherwise against Article 5 of the Constitution, which is sovereignty belongs to the state. So by doing that, myself say, I not say the court of Sierra Leone, the Supreme Court, the rules say President Nkrumah not get right or do that, but according to their opinion, I made the rules the president get right. So by that, there's responsibility now for interpret the law, not to forgive their opinion.
Right.
So myself, since I will not take oath of office and I love my country, so I decide for go and the ECOWAS court for seek redress and bring back justice to the people of Sierra Leone.
And so, you know, yes, go ahead.
At this point, wait, the question, let's say background I give you. At this point now, the case the ECOWAS court will not make 2 appearances, and the first one, unfortunately, the Attorney General will be say it will protect Ernest Nkrumah. Unlike the people of Sierra Leone, they say it will protect Ernest Nkrumah by air, land, and sea. Unfortunately, not show up. Instead, write a very vague letter. Talk say ECOWAS not get the mandate for looking into a case so the Supreme Court don't look. Forgetting the fact that me being pursued a human rights case at the ECOWAS court, and that as Sierra Leone, a signatory to the ECOWAS treaty, where observe economic and human rights issues recently during the tenure of Ernest Nkrumah. So because of that, when they're not show up, now be an embarrassment to the nation as a whole. This is what is run a court, a shame for my country that an Attorney General can go so low. And I decided to say, well, this one I will do for bring back dignity to the people of Sierra Leone. And by the 22nd of this month, November, God will give verdict on the case.
Wow, the 22nd of this month. And, you know, His right. Excellency and so, if I'm with them, just like how that's not the elected vice president way the president be sacked, and I don't talk here. And of course, I could just like how we don't say the 22nd of November, we don't pass, not in there before pass judgment on that case. So plenty of people then they wonder now, waiting happen, waiting don't happen. So on the 22nd, indeed, the ECOWAS Community Court began for Sidona, Abuja, and Nigeria. And of course, something will come out of that case. So let's listen to the elected vice president and lawyers them and waiting then say about that case. Stick around.
This is not an ordinary case. It is a case that involves the political processes and the very survival of Sierra Leone as a nation. Now, our argument is that if it is adjourned to February, very close to elections in March, our client would be disadvantaged. You are aware that instead of causing any form of commotion in Sierra Leone, he decided to seek a peaceful means of resolving the dispute he had there and which the Supreme Court couldn't adequately deal with. We do not want that step to disadvantage him. And so what we want is quick, proper justice here, so that his decision to use the rule of law to resolve the political problem would be championed. We are happy that the court has ceded to our arguments and has given what I would say is a fairly close date next week for judgment. The case is about the people of Sierra Leone, and the ruling of this court would either support them or not. And it is difficult to say that the ECOWAS Court of Justice, which is also the ECOWAS Court of Human Rights, would not respect the rights of the people of Sierra Leone and the rights of our clients. Three things. First, a judgment of the court is of value by itself because it is a decision for someone and against another. And that is a moral decision. So even if you don't respect it, there's a moral mark on you that you have done wrong. And sometimes punishment is not only what we see with our eyes. So we have chosen the path of peace and the rule of law. Once we get that judgment, we are getting it for the people of Sierra Leone, and that's enough satisfaction.
All right, and so Mifamudem, that's now one of the lawyers for the elected vice president. So the decision or they not been passed a judgment on the case. Like we don't talk, will not be passed judgment on that case day as was slated on the 22nd of November. But now next week there'll be one postponed until February. But when I know say Alhaji Sam Sumana now one of the candidates and with the vie for the presidency of the country under the Coalition for Change, when I C4C. And so the lawyers, they're able to argue for say, elections get for come, this man get for contest election. We cannot wait until February for Leona pass judgment on this case where it be say elections now in March. And so because of that, the court began for grant for say next week, then go pass judgment on that case day. But one thing we found the way fine for no is that you know, plenty cases and the ways Sierra Leoneans they don't take to the ECOWAS court, where they under this APC regime, where the APC government they blatantly refuse for make a representation at that court, and so at the end of the day, then they lost the case. But the question remains as to when they're not going to go to the ECOWAS court, and then a signatory, Sierra Leone is a signatory to the communique where the ECOWAS community began for sign for say if any human rights violations happen in any country or political issues arise in any country in West Africa, that the ECOWAS court will be a place who said they go try and force, and then if they get for use force, then use force. So that is another political waiting say where they happen until we all been see how ECOWAS be involved pan, you know, Jermaine issue na the Gambia. Well, ECOWAS then get the mandate from that communique where they signed, backed by the United Nations, by the Commonwealth of Nations, by the AU, the African Union. These organizations are backing the ECOWAS for doing TSO. And in fact, Sierra Leone is a signatory to that communique. So we don't know what to get for be the outcome of the case. But at any rate, where Alhaji Samuel Samsumana became that case in ECOWAS, it been talk say it need a redress, a fee of $210 million for, you know, in case for all the psychological damage what they cause them at that time. Until we all remember then and the way Ebola then at the country, the man, one point drivers them don't die of Ebola. So instead of quarantine, instead inside in compound, they go they fear for in life, you know, they don't know what to go happen because this driver be the drive. I mean, one point in bodyguard. Now they all be the drive inside the same car. They can't get Ebola. So now, I mean, can you imagine? So now then and they didn't and they happen. And suddenly somebody call on us early in the morning. Somebody where they walk inside the APC government, they call and say, it's a commander you host. If you're not commodity, they can't kill you. That's why he was able to leave, but he not even go to the American embassy according to him, because we'll talk on all of them today. So now the case that one they were in at the ECOWAS court, and so with the follow up on that case day for let's see what's in the happen. All right, but as far as I know, when I've been asked the vice president, he talks say it is not about money, it's about setting a precedent in the country and bringing justice back to the people of Sierra Leone. So other policy not go do the same thing. All right. And so next, me family, the next thing we'll get for talk about now. So now the National Publicity Secretary of the Sierra Leone People's Party, one of the SLPP, of course, Mr. Lahai Lawrence Lima, when I all be here, but in saga now, I mean, in the past 2 weeks, we been happen SLBC. Now, for that one, they will not know about what will happen to the National Publicity Secretary or waiting that the whole thing will be transpire, will be involved in. Make I just give you a summary of it. You know, it's like Wusai at the broadcast from. This is our studio right here. For let anybody we accord you with the opportunity of getting an interview from us. Now you they work with we for let us set up an appointment so that we will get interview with you. In fact, this afternoon we don't get interview with one of the presidential candidates and at the country they can't show na just now. So for let you go able for Kanami studio for make I go interview you, you get for doing by appointment. You not go just grab your cam, right? Of course, you know, we know they against Lima. Lima is a very intelligent young fellow. He's very talented. He's eloquent. I mean, I see future in him with regards to Sierra Leonean politics. You know, the man be there at the military. I mean, he don't go law school, even though he not going to buy it because then they say politics is the fear they small. But when they don't elect the man as the publicity secretary, one day it didn't host, they try for tune the radio station them for let's see what's they happen. Then suddenly it get for trample upon you know, SLBC radio station. And here one of the anchors there or the host in that station, they introduce Franklin Rogers, when at the deputy publicity secretary for the APC in the South, and they talk bad stuff for them, but Julius Maada be one of the presidential candidate of the SLPP. So immediately when you hear that talk, they night taking phone, it call SLBC because they get the numbers them. It call them and tell them say, "Una de pa interview Franklin Rogers." And they talks evil stuff them about the presidential candidate of the SLPP. And when I not invite me for make a debunk or some of them thing and the way they talk. Now the people they say no, we will give you time for let you debunk. Now I say no, it say I get for debunk right now. When it talks, you get for debunk right now. Now they say, okay, well, we go ask you for me, you go clarify some of them statement and they on the phone. Because SLBC, they already know, say, then two people they ask so they not agree. And they know the Wamat where Lima get. For let Lima go na that station, they meet up Franklin Rogers, they of course there be no say confusion get for Fodoni. So they decide for make a call on the phone, make them call on the phone, so it go clarify waiting Franklin with the talk. Now the radio about Madabio. So in the interview and small, now he say, well, this interview on the phone is not enough. I'm coming over there to the SLBC. Now he take one in man, he tell one in man where they drive, he say, go left me. Now he then go left for now SLBC. Where you go now SLBC, now he go inside the studio. Where you go inside the studio, now he then tell and say they're almost done, right? For do the show. So now he still try for talk to Franklin. He tell and say, well, Franklin, you that talk they always don't talk. So he still try to talk to him. So to me, I am looking at this whole thing, you know, as if, first of all, SLPP as a political party for 5 years, when I don't they go through all these internal disputes, internal disunity, God don't make when I don't try to, when I don't come together and when I don't elect the presidential candidate of this party. Why are you guys gonna get involved in anything at this point? We go bring a distraction to the party. Why? Like, wait till you go personally gain from going to SLBC. This is an opposition party to you party, so you're not going to expect them for me to talk good things about your candidate. They don't expect that. I mean, in a democratic government or in a democracy, you don't expect your opponent to say good things about you. So if they talk all that they nonsense, you focus on your national campaign, focus on the policies, focus on your campaign. Not begin to, you know, say, I go try for set the record straight. You're not going able for set the record. But anyway, in the process, they say the man be violent. The one they would work at SLBC, they say that they're afraid for their life because the man had been soldier before, lieutenant in for that matter. So they say pursue the case and the police they can arrest them. So all of that stuff they happen. But anyway, they be don't bail Lahai Lawrence Lima now. So let's see where he come on at the prison waiting is say. Let's see that.
Bible says, count it all joy when you go through diverse tests and tribulations. It says, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him from them all. Firstly, I want to tell God thank you, because it make it possible I go through this experience with brave hearts. And after God, I want to tell the chairman and leader a very big thank you. He opened up me like in Pikiwe, but not like in colleague. And God speak to me heart as series about out. And from that date, he stand by me, and I've been no saving where they and they fight for me. Thank you very much, sir. So my uncle himself, of course, always there by the chairman for getting the parliamentary support. And I really feel I feel satisfied that I've been the work for the party, and the party proves not for their work. To honor the grassroots, of course, the escort on are giving us CID. I mean, not say if them go put myself in a condemned prison, I mean, not so on the effect from it. But the prayer, even while in a prison, and that let them know disorder, let them know get cause for deferred elections. Because if we have been disordered and deferred elections, I don't spend more time there. And of course, everything for them in disorderly fashion. So I continue for pray to God for make the whole thing come out in a way where God in them will be glorified. And at the end of it all, God get the glory and praises. Of course, me thank also go to the presidential candidate of the SLPP, retired Brigadier Julius Madabio. For of course they stand by the national executive and the parliamentary representative for ensure say me business get the kind of prominence we deserve for make I go get me freedom. I thank you very much. Like where the lead council talk say they appreciate the fact say I get me freedom, I don't get bail. In the first place I ought not to have gone there. But destiny is something where you know they able for escape. And I want to say myself don't be part of the graduates of Sierra Leone politician. And of course, my boss said that you don't pass through that line. So myself don't be part of that. Special thanks to all the lawyers them way, of course, represent me. And they really prove say I'm not fighting alone. And I fight along with them. And then prove say when it comes to their own part for show them professionalism and expertise, then stand by me. I appreciate it. Much there for say, but I just want to get time for rest. I thank Una the grassroots for the support you show to me. And I thank even the diaspora counterparts them with membership in the diaspora for the fight we put up over there for make sure say SLPP this time round. Where would they say they resist? It's not resistance by fighting, but they can misunderstand what we say resistance. If perhaps that's not the last resort, we'll not reach that point there. But we don't so say we're a disciplined party, we're a professional party. We fight with us professionally, we are pushed for the world. We thank God, God has professionally and to me, it's only even the government, where of course, even though I'm disappointed in them, but of course they market SLPP. Of course, you know, when I say the market SLPP, when Lima speaks, SLPP speaks. When Lima is silent, SLPP is silent. So in the process where they incarcerate Lima, they market SLPP. And I will not say me chairman and leader go fight for a name. And indeed fight for a name. One country, one people, Madabio.
All right, so my man Lahai Lawrence Lima, after we come out na Panemba Road, na in the Tokyo, and I say in the newest graduates from the political prison, of course, man, and they always in prison, you way get mouth, you know, when it comes to Sierra Leone politics, and that happened to her, but it don't come out. But just like I be talk, I mean, first of all, I want to let family know say, I get plenty of me best friends then inside the APC government, APC party, APC government. Some of them are ministers, deputy ministers. Now me your main man, and I will all go school, college. Now all they run around things. Why can go free turn? And they put up with them. Would they do things then together? But I all know say, oh, they pampas. I can always see and give them. I can always tell them the truth. We all know say the truth of the matter is from 1961 to 2017, where would they talk now so today? APC as a political party not they on record for hold peaceful elections, hand over government to the person we win without any problem. That one day they're not they on record for that at all. They're not on one day do them inside the life of Sierra Leone from where we don't get independence. And so why would the opposition, I mean not to SLPP no more now, any other opposition, why you go think say the APC get planned for peacefully hold this election and hand over peacefully to una if una wanna win? Why would I feel say that go happen? When I don't go through internal problems for all these years, when I don't get una presidential candidate, all man don't begin to galvanize around una. Why would I not go focus on that? Why you get for going to a broadcasting station for correct what? This is your opponent. He's not going to say anything positive about you. All you can do is to ask for your own time. You go to the station and you debunk waiting, he don't talk. Sometimes you don't even want to be there when he is there. You know, but this Nalima, a very eloquent guy, very smart, very intelligent, but they say when you extend your right too far, it becomes your wrong. So sometimes not extend your right too far, right? Okay, and so me family next we get for go to well I go say the first lady to be if Julius Madabio win election. We can talk about any other presidential candidate. If I be the talk about Kande Koleyum Kela, for don't call in Wef as the first lady to be. If I talk about Mohamed C of the NDA, I for don't say first lady to be. So I did talk about Madabio in Wef, Fatima Bio as first lady to be because na I did talk about right now. So we'll be able to follow on small way, then go to some side where it gives some speech, it talk to the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't see it who side the other first ladies to be, who side they don't talk. Maybe I don't see Kande Yum Kela in Wef they talk, you know, somehow. And I get respect for him. But when I listen to Fatima Bio where they talk, first of all, I lack in composure, I lack in calmness, and I lack that it gets an idea, she's very knowledgeable about the issues in the country. And she spoke like an opposition. Now, you see, the way Fatima Bio talk, all the can show now. If Ina being a member of the APC, talk so about the SLPP, the way it talk about the APC, I think say Lima for don't come feta back. Because Lima no let anybody talk evil about Julius Madabio. When you talk, whosoever they can meet you when they hold on. Right? But we just want to let Lima know, as educated as he is, for say these things happen in democracy. In fact, that is the beauty of democracy. You have to talk about your opponents. Waiting at some of the things then where they don't do or where not do. How no more you go able for turn the people that off against that opponent day. You have to do that. Sometimes it can really go nasty. But that is all politics and it's part of democracy. But anyway, Fatima Bio, let us see what he been talk when she gave a speech. I so like the way he talk in composure and everything. Another one day see what side they speak. But I don't know, she was an actress, a movie actress. And so I don't know if Nade pull that style, but I just like it. She was very first lady like. Let's see what she said.
Election now what can they reach? Now this country, nothing no happen. Nobody no say nothing. Only in Sierra Leone. For me, what I can say and what I say, we don't wish for now we get problem in Africa again. But if anybody they watch TV and see waiting the happen na Zimbabwe, you get for understand say God not sleep. Until APC they begin for understand say na God na in bring we can na this world, and that the only way where you they serve you people and serve them the righteous way, you get for believe in God and you seek God in wisdom. until them begin for understand that one day the brothers and sisters at the Teluna APC not good for this nation. Then nobody no fool we again. Now APC during Joseph Saidu Momo in time, may his soul rest in peace, because they say person die enough for talk bad butter. But now that time they will get well. Me na the tell me komo kono, because na kono mi bom, na they are komo. Now Joseph Saidu Momo in 10. Na him we come out kono. They bring war. SLPP can. They bring democracy. Now APC can. They don't bring Ebola. They don't bring mudslide. They don't bring Hajj Gate. They don't bring toll road. Now what thing I want let them bring again? March 7, na una yon turn for now the APC lock gates. And then give we toll road and Hajj gates. Papa themselves where they go make I tip their money. You tip from Motama, you tip from Daiman, you tip from God. Now APC no more they do that day. APC no more. So I beg, March 7, make every Sierra Leonean hold the key and una key na da una vote. And make sure say una go vote for SLPP, vote for Julius Madabio, and make we lock the gates panel. So we don't give the lock gates. Do ya at the Beguna? When they come again, the next time where they come na this community, me na Maningo, where they work are for always where they go to the people like for carry you man. The next day where they come and they make sure say Madabio. I want to tell you all thank you for the time una don't can spend na ya. And no say una no say not to waste their time, because anybody when a true Sierra Leonean right now, you go want to listen to all the issues them and then you will make the right decision. SLPP will not get money for go give people and them for now, because we believe say if you love Sierra Leone, you know they put money before. This na the time where we fight for we your freedom. They say we get independence, but March 7 9 we get the real independence. I tell you now all thank you. Uncle SK, thank you. Then so thank you.
Yes, and so me family, that's the first lady to be Julius Madabio in West Fatima Bio na talking and that. So just like I tell you, she was very composed. Taking time, hit on the actual topics them and the keywords them, use them, able for know exactly waiting at the message where able for pass on to the kind crowd where they talk to, able for humble himself, you know what I mean? So I admire him big time. And so Fatima, I know say you can watch we. So whosoever you day, if you watch we or you watch we later, I want to tell you say indeed, you impress me. And of course, I know say you impress a lot of other people by the way you present it. All right? And so next, me family, when I don't forget for say, we've been get the presidential candidate for the National Democratic Alliance, Mr. Mohamed C. We talked to him exclusively today about how he go run Sierra Leone if he happen to be the next president of the country. We talk on a lot of issues. So when I don't go no side, we'll get for bring that interview to una. But next, we want for talk small about the mudslide will happen at the country. I mean, we all know see when that very unfortunate situation take place in Sierra Leone, the whole world once more poured into Sierra Leone with gifts, with money, with all kinds of things. Right? Then sorry for we, then bring a lot of checks, and we all be see on TV. Where now the president in SSF but they receive them check them day. And we also see where some countries then bring in materials and food. And so we be expect say by then 10 years so now, we people them, even if they not get side, who side they don't give them permanently, but they're not for day in a camp and then it reach some time, the government say, yeah, will they give us small money, go find some side, who say you get for day. You know, when you do that one day, sometimes something and the way money not able for buy. Because once you don't tell that person, say, go fence on side for day, no matter how many millions you give that person, you don't make that person day in memory get for reflect back on waiting be happen to when the unfortunate things where a loss in family, loss in Pekinem, where it be saying that in one of the survivor out of that whole predicament day. But at that, the APC government don't do to the victims of the mudslide. And so Al Jazeera began for report on that, and we feel say it necessary for let bring that report back camp to una, for let una go see una self, and then after that we'll go move on to Mr. Bai interview. But we just want for let una see this. All right, stick around.
This is where hundreds of survivors have been living since their homes were destroyed from the mudslide that killed at least 500 people. Sally Forna's husband was one of them. He drowned after saving her, their children, and his mother. She worries about how she will manage once the camps close.
I am going to go. I don't know right now. My heart is hurting. My husband is gone and I have kids to look after. Who is going to help me raise them?
Relatives are trying to help her locate a house, but she also worries she would not be able to afford it. Sierra Leone's government is giving the displaced cash compensation, almost $700 for each family, but there's concern over whether they will actually get everything promised.
I don't have anything yet right now. We're just sitting here, no money. I have nothing yet.
Authorities say the camps are officially closed now. The process of moving people out, though, will take time. They say they will not tell anyone to leave until they have their compensation.
Life is never a perfect situation. In all of these engagements, we are aware of the fact that we cannot satisfy everybody and at the same time. But across the board, we are taking a decision, and we think it's fair that we give them what they are supposed to have.
Construction of homes for the mudslide victims is underway on the outskirts of the capital, Freetown, but there's been some obstacles.
The time we started the project was on a rainy season. We have so many challenges because some of our materials can barely reach the site.
He says the plan now is to have everything ready by the end of this month. 52 homes are being built here. Some are 2 bedrooms and some are 3 bedrooms. Each home will have a living room as well as an outdoor kitchen and toilet. A church and mosque are also being built and an orphanage block. An orphanage was one of the buildings destroyed in the mudslides 3 months ago. Hundreds of children also lost parents in the disaster. The government says it will build an additional 1,000 homes for those affected. Meanwhile, activists are questioning why the mudslides even happened. They are calling for a public inquiry.
We need to know not just the geological and scientific explanations. We need to know who are responsible for allocating these lands. We need to know who are the people who allocated this land or signed these building permits.
Back in the camp, Sally says she is still nervous about what the future holds. A sentiment felt by many here. Nina DeVries, Al Jazeera, Freetown, Sierra Leone.
All right, and so now that's Freetown. Now that's coming from Al Jazeera, one for tell and plenty. Thank you. But anyway, now that's not the situation where people in there in right now. I mean, I understand the government, they can build places then, but only God knows when they go finish, and only God knows how many apartments then they build. And of course, we also get to think about the fact that when people they stay too long inside camps, you think about sanitary conditions, and then and they go bring other diseases. So, but for give money to them, say go fend who say get for day. We they not even know for say these apartments that they go build, then go able benefit from them, because the people they not get address system, how they go able for even correspond with you. I mean, I don't know how they are going to handle that whole thing, but we just want for bring that camp to now. And in fact, that lead us for let us go remember. The victims of both the Ebola crisis in Sierra Leone and the mudslide. So they remember them, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, we get for bring camp to you the interview we'll get with Mr. Mohamed C. So stick around.
highly talented. He's a doctor with a difference. Yes, it's going to take some time to bring the hospital back to its glorious days. It's going to take some time.
Oh, the late Dr. Martin Saliame is so rest in perfect peace. He had passion for the job. He wanted this hospital to be the best in this country. He wanted to be see this hospital as the center of excellence in this country.
We need to check each and every individual, what you are doing. What are you offering in your own small corner that you could brighten that corner? How are you contributing in one way or the other to promote this place?
He is the kind of person, even a porter that is working in his office, sometimes he will tell the porter, go and bring me the broom today, I'm going to sweep.
But if the public didn't appreciate that whenever somebody has this kind of presentation, they should come. Because don't forget, by the time you have one contracting the disease, people going to take care of a dead. Avoiding hiding, taking care of that dead. Don't forget, by the time people are dead with the Ebola, they are more infectious than all. So if they take care of their burial or their own, 10 more will be infected.
This situation we don't happen at Sierra Leone today. Waiting that you don't take on everything we don't go on at the country, because every year this flooding they happen, people that they lost their lives. What is your take on what is going on?
First of all, the panelists there, Mr. Desmond, I want to say thank you for your sacrifice. We you they give for the country, and we all in the fence. And Ms. Fore, same thing to you. We the Canada, we can't talk about the country and sacrifice. We don't know what will happen to you tomorrow because of what you say now. So, and a great sacrifice. And even if something not happen to any of we or any of now, a gift una dey give out of una your free will to the people that for inform them. So, I say thank you, and then the host. Mr. Sheriff, for your service to the nation, and especially the Sierra Leonean and the diaspora. You do a very good job for sending out the message to let people that know what thing they go on at the country and then government. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Leon take on this, the brother Sierra Leone, a culture of corruption are the root cause of this problem. Corruption, yes, I know I'm politicized, waiting they go on because people have not lost their life. But we're not able to talk about them kind here without to not mention the culture within our country. Because everything they begin with how you lead us in the go. We lead us in this, they don't show twice. Ebola and this. They don't show the incompetence of we leaders them. And the corrupt nature of we leaders them for a very long time, and they manifest themselves right now. So now why are they
said we are going to hand over. And if Captain Strasser decides to change his mind, and I am part of that group, I was not ready to be a part. The two of you have an interest that is inimical to the interest of this nation. I will not follow you. Even if we have agreed, I will break that agreement.
One example, at one stage I thought we don't have more than $30 million just for economic development projects. To build one road alone, 1 kilometer of road costs you nearly $1 million. To have 1 kilowatt of electricity.
I get opportunity for change. Now that's me they tell una. Una forget mine. Let nobody no hide behind tribe or something else. Then you go beg una bell una. Una put her inside, now in pocket they full up. Somebody talk about declaration of assets. Yes, we all for commit. All of us for declare we assets. Me, I believe that all of us, but enough for be one person, everybody for do one.
You see, even the banks there, Nigerian they own them, Lebanese own them, Indian man they own them. Now Chinese don't take over now. You're not gonna believe this. When you go, Ibrahim, Sierra Leone, you go really know say we Sierra Leoneans them who don't left back, who don't be third class. You see Wilkinson Road, you go about in all them big mansions, the hotel. Now foreigners they own them.
Definitely, the issue of Sam Sumana forming a coalition, for me, I'm focused on my main agenda at this moment. That is to make sure that I bring back justice for the people of Sierra Leone at the ECOWAS court.
I think we have been fighting corruption in this country based on legislative pursuits, legislation. But that's one step. I call it the one-legged solution. If we want to address the issue of corruption in Sierra Leone, we're serious about it. Those that are behind the desk of trust need to understand that they are there to serve the people, not to serve themselves.
We are deeply saddened by the loss of our people. It makes us sick to our stomach. We shed tears. It's really hot. We are speechless, still shocked, and don't know why all these unfortunate incidents are happening to our beloved country, Mama Salone. On behalf of the East End Artists Union, I want to join the government and the rest of the people of Sierra Leone to mourn the death of our precious brothers and sisters due to the August 14th disaster, which will always be in our memory. Article for you.
It's a Falcons music.
Salute people, they cry, they cry. Daddy God, please can set me free. Mama Salute, they cry, they cry. Daddy God, please can rescue you. Everything's very happen now, we land me, they make me confused. Say nobody go there for God, Daddy God now you will choose.
Make we pray for them, for good road, make it not happen again. Now we land know. Say make we pray for them, for good road, make it not happen again. Now we land know. Hey, Ato, Mangula mi Ato, hey Ato, me people let me Ato.
I stress me people them, and I rest. From the 14th August, I get the news from the press. She wants how they run me eye. From my brothers and sisters, we're not able to survive. God save Mama Salone, forgive our sins and heal the land. God save Mama Salone, return to righteousness, Sierra Leone.
Now me prayer, you prayer, come, make we can do it together. Yeah. This one in painful and sorry, make we pray, make it not happen again, yeah. Nah. Now we dey feel the pain. Yeah. See we country they cry. Who da go way behind?
Yeah, your promises are good. You're the source of life, so many souls away. Who's hide and go, who's part and dig, no one else today. I pray you go keep them, now your hands safe. Oh Lord,
cover them like shadows, umbra upon umbra. You make a remember the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. Acts make this happen, say we dey pray. Forgive us, Mama Salon, say we dey pray.
The one that will not die, may they rest in peace. Because now God will give them life, don't take them. So we brother and we sisters of the victims, man, this disaster makes them take us. Yeah, rest in peace to the one that way done lost their lives. Hush to the victims and the one that way done lost their wives. It's painful. Papa God, do you now for see it with tears now with eyes? Are they beg now for see it?
It's been a while we don't suffer. Sierra Leonean tries and be stronger.
I say
no matter hard the situation, we go live like one nation.
The past taken me be festive rebel war and bring on kitty gata. Another year with the Ebola virus and kill me 50 fata. Every day I keep on wondering and pondering what is happening in my country. Just one big rain take over the night and bring me landslide, and it don't take away so many lives. All the wonder will die so painfully. When I soul rest in peace, rest in peace. All the wonder will die so painfully. May your soul rest in peace. People they cry. Daddy God please can set me free. Mama Salon they cry. Daddy God please can rescue me. Oh, plenty things many happen now we landed and make me confused. I say nobody go there for God. Daddy God now you will choose.
Make we pray for them for good road. Make it not happen again. Now we land. Say make we pray for them for good road. Make it not happen again. Now we land.
Daddy God now you name we dey put first you. So many souls now we country yes we don't lost. But when the pray make it not go happen again. No, now we country no more.
Why Salon every day we dey cry for this one grain Salon. Papa God this are the tell where you for F sweet Salon. Flooding landslide push far from Salon.
Yeah. Any problem we come with you, man, them we dey suffer most. Daddy God, please intervene. Plenty don't lost. We are the sea and water destroy people. Tears they run me high. Mama, Papa, small picking oh, look how them die.
Salon people then they cry because of this disaster. The Muslim then they call her fitina, some call her Nimisa. If Iba was in mountain, they walk up but this not the last one.
I say no matter how we try, we cannot stop it. Cause this is the will of God. Say this one ya eat tomorrow, we don't lost, we be love one them. Even though we not don't go, we still they remember one. They say oh show. So the family way down and left behind.
Waiting be so we the pray, make it not be again. The precious life we give we, enough for go in vain. Maybe para God, you don't vex by we. Look Mama Salon they cry, please sorry for we.
Really painful. For see always Mama Salon they cry. Papa God do ya calm down right now and wipe we eye. Cause we don't suffer too much and the pain too much. Calm down and Epsilon.
Hey, rest in peace. So we comping picking them. For angel they dumb they sleep. Water from nowhere come and flush them. Hey, and now he's here. Me family them too so yeah. Make me not blame nobody. Daddy God na every na in no the reason.
Oh God, forgive us for our sins. Things them can happen, but this one in honor. So we the picking them in act, make we bear. The one day we don't pass, make God be
the people they cry. Daddy God please can set me free. Mama Salon they cry. Daddy God please can rescue me. Oh, plenty things many happen now we landed and make me confused. I say nobody go there for God. Daddy God now you will choose.
Make we pray for them for good road. Make it not happen again. Now we land. Say make we pray for them for good road. Make it not happen again. Now we land.
I say them on now we
All right, and so me fam with them that now the East End Artists Union now then do that song there. Of course, more slide tribute. One for tell them plenty. Thank you for where they're able for do the more slide tribute, and of course that was just very highly interesting. All right, of course. So, ladies and gentlemen, next we get for bring come to you an exclusive interview where we've been get with the presidential candidate for the National Democratic Alliance, of course, the NDA. NDA now one of the oldest political parties in the country as well, since when they introduced multi-party democracy in Sierra Leone back in 1991. The National Democratic Alliance was one of the political parties that we formed at that time. So they have been in the limelight for a long time. And so we talked to the presidential candidate exclusively about waiting and the plans that we get for able to move the country go before. So we'll bring that interview to you right about this time. Stick around. So my family, just like how we've been telling just now today, that we forget a special guest now we missed. Of course, we get a guest right now. Of course, not the other person, the presidential candidate for the National Democratic Alliance in the person of Mr. Mohamed C. Of course, na man we don't talk plenty sided on issues bordering on how Sierra Leone as a country for move forward. Of course, now that make we get a passion for even run for the highest political office in Sierra Leone. And of course, as we know, the National Democratic Alliance, not a new party in Sierra Leone, they participate in the democratic process since Sierra Leone returned to multi-party democracy back in the 90s. And of course, this now a party where they move things then steady. And so the person where now the young presidential candidate now we're going to talk to today exclusively from Sheriff's Broadcast Network. And so one for Leona sit by as we talk to Mr. Mohamed C. Hello, Mr. Ba. How you do, sir?
I do fine. Mr. Ibrahim Sheriff.
Yes, sir. That's good. Welcome to Sheriff's Broadcast Network. Of course, what a delight we will get for welcoming you for let's talk on some of the issues in Sierra Leone. Of course, the last time we'll talk to you now a couple of years ago, we'll be just run the radio, and of course, today we'll get an interview. Then will be a very good one, you know. So we're going to follow you quietly in the background as how you run politics in the country. And so I understand, say you are all set, ready to go back home. So when you left?
Well, very soon. Okay. They left very soon. And first of all, I want to take this opportunity for congratulate you. I know say the last time we do interview, it was a radio interview.
Right.
So now, I mean, such an honor, a privilege for be part of the success we don't accomplish.
Thank you, sir.
For able to bring the issues affecting Sierra Leone on the screen. And so I want to congratulate you and your staff for that accomplishment.
Thank you very much, sir. I really accept that happily. And so, Mr. Ba, you're not person way, you know, from the last time we made you two the talk, you're not person we're very passionate about, you know, Sierra Leone, and in fact, now that make way to run for this public office. And some of the things that way they bother you, now the kind of corruption at the country, now the way the country not to move forward. You're very passionate about the future of the youths. And so now that you go back to the country, give me a small status update on the National Democratic Alliance as a political party.
Well, like you said earlier on your introduction, the National Democratic Alliance are one of the oldest political parties in Sierra Leone. We don't take part in almost 2 election cycles now, and a party way is over 20 years old now. So it don't represent women, it don't represent minorities. The NDA and a party way, it don't articulate a lot of the aspirations them. Where the citizens of Sierra Leone always they yearn for. So we've been on, in fact, when I pathway earlier, we conduct the National Delegate Conference. Then we elect me as the leader and the flag bearer for 2018. So now, 3-4 months to the election now, with the gear up, we're ready for create a very surprising upset, win the elections, winning both presidential, parliamentary, and council seats.
Wow, I like that confidence. And so, based on your own assessment, based on your analysis of the political situation of the country, you are very confident for, say, the National Democratic Alliance will be the one who will win the election of the country.
Absolutely, absolutely, Mr. Sheriff, because the people of Sierra Leone for almost 56 years don't understand, say, there is a need for change. The people of Sierra Leone don't know, say, you know what, they're ready for try something different. So NDA position itself right now for able for campaign to the people, for share with vision, the growth strategy where we get, how for able to move the economy, how for able to create employment for young people, how for able to improve the educational system, the healthcare, you know, building a self-sufficiency agricultural economy, and a host of other things. Then we get very, very outstanding programs then when we go campaign during the campaign time, and and also we will win the hearts and mind, and at the ballot we will get a resounding victory by the grace of God. Okay, that's good. And so when you run for offices like this, I know say it involves quite a lot, you know. So what are some of the main issues that when you feel say when they go down swear you in as the president of Sierra Leone, when they step into State House on day one, what are some of the issues that we go on for tackle right away? Well, one of the first issues then we are going for tackle is they change the direction, they change the mood of the nation. First, creating a sense of reconciliation, creating a sense of nationhood. What do I mean by that? And be a president where every Sierra Leonean, no matter if na north you come out, na south you come out, na east you come out, we are one Sierra Leone. And they set that tone there. Number one, when I begin to put together my cabinet, my government, it will look like Sierra Leone. It will be the first time in the history of Sierra Leone where we will get a government that looks like Sierra Leone. Right there, the people of Sierra Leone will understand, say, oh, you know what, this man here, it mean business. Right. Okay? And they reassess and reevaluate all the programs of the previous government. Look at them, evaluate them, okay, and begin for determining which one are they take. I mean, there are so many problems. There are so many problems. Looking at, first of all, how for me able to create a sustainable energy security in the country. I then look at them, I say, you know what, I know say we will focus on this hydro and thermal energy. So I will immediately instruct the Ministry of Energy and say, you know what, I need a diversification plan here. Look, I won't even look at what you will need for forget coal, forget other source of energy, cheap form of energy. Okay, I will begin to look at an economic overview. What I need for do for stabilize the economy? What I need for do, because after the Ebola and after the mudslide, the economy don't shrink. When the economy don't shrink, the economy will perform. So I will able to get an economic team will be able to assess them in a day and begin for see what's in the way forward. So I get a host of things in. But the first directive what I will do is I want to make for the first time when we begin to think as Sierra Leonean, to say I'm a president that is for all Sierra Leonean. My government is going to look like Sierra Leone. It therefore encompass a multi-ethnic government, a government of national unity. Let's get up to the first order of business.
Well, you know, when people like you talk say time not dey for degree for assess the problems that the country. They say you wey dey run for be president of the country, the highest political office, you for not able for assess things there by now, because it's like a sprint start. People are drowning now. People that need somebody when they take that office, they right away you begin for implement, you know, because during the campaign you are working on strategies and all of that. So people that really talk like that, what you will be your response to them?
Well, I tell them, say, look, for they outside and see the operation of government, it's different when you sit down at the seat as the president of Sierra Leone. The way how you get for see things is completely different. It's like winning the election is different from governing. That's always, if you look at all over the world. So there are two different challenges we get here. You get one challenge, first of all, to win the election, and then you get another second challenge of how can you govern. So when you govern, I mean, it's a lot of moving parts then when you get to look at and put together. But it's very clear. It's very clear. One immediate thing we are going to look at now, this issue of corruption. Corruption, it's a serious problem. It's not a problem when a yesterday business it don't happen. It don't happen for a very, very long time. Ibrahim Sheriff.
Right.
The issue now is how I go able for tackle them. You understand?
Right.
Number one, try for create the leadership. When I say the leadership, for sure say, you know what, this man we don't cancel, you know, is serious about corruption. Is serious about ensuring that every priority programs that the people of Sierra Leone they look forward for enjoy, it's made possible. How? First of all, not to look at corruption like what we don't see for the past 30-40 years old. Anti-corruption commission, where it less effective, passing legislation, where the legislation, I mean, it's not enforced. But for beginning to build stronger institution or even the existing institution to make them strong. So one of the first things, like I've said in Sierra Leone, is it is time for we begin to digitalize the entire government record. It is time for we begin to create a transparency, because when they put trust on individual, we need to put trust on institution. It is time also, like I said, for even begin to look at seriously the conditions that create poverty, because these are some of the things that leads to corruption. How we get to look at the civil servants, the military, the police, okay, ensure, Ibrahim, that we look at their salary structure. See, is there a need for make we increase that? What kind of incentive do we need for create where we go able to discourage people from engaging in the act of corruption? So it takes so many legal solutions to tackle that. But you know what? Corruption, now one of the biggest problem, because billions of leones are wasted in corruption. Corruption, in fact, to me, now one of the worst thing that's happening to Sierra Leone. Because whenever a system is corrupt, nothing is gonna get done, and we don't see them for the past 3-4 decades. So this now one of me big fights are willing to embark on for bringing change in Sierra Leone.
Well, you know, Mr. Ba, plenty of people like you say, you know, every politician, you know, at least for the past decades or 2 decades, and they run for position at Sierra Leone, it can always talk, say, when una elect me, I dey fight corruption at Sierra Leone, or I dey do this, I dey do that. People are used to promises where politicians, especially presidential candidates, them. And so the waiting lacking is the how you go do them, how you go able to get rid of corruption. We don't become endemic in every fabric of the country. How will you do it?
The sense of patriotism where I get in my heart,
right?
The desire for able to bring change na salon.
Okay.
The need for look at how much as a public servant for able for impact the lives of the people then. You know, me, not any generation of politician, I always can say I happen for born after independence. I not serve in any political office in Sierra Leone. But one of the things why I believe can make a difference is the fact that I have been exposed to another culture, another society, where I don't learn about transparency and integrity and the sense of responsibility. Okay, I talk for myself that if I get an opportunity for sit at the highest office in Sierra Leone, I will make sure, because of that political determination they will get, that sense of patriotism they will get, I believe say I will make a difference in reducing corruption. So it's not about what you say. They believe that I love Sierra Leone. The fact that I owe Sierra Leone, I want to give back to Sierra Leone. The fact that I have a culture and a value instilled in me, even from my primary school to my secondary school, I believe that kind of personality will allow me for able to fight this menace where it don't destroy with society even more than Ebola.
Right. And so, Mr. Ba, so plenty other things than we can talk to politicians at your level. We can always ask them is that you know, they say when your papa die, I get for split the sky open. While you papa they alive, you want for crack that sky they first let we know say you mean them. Now I want for know waiting are some of the issues where you should say this current government, when the APC government don't perpetrate in the country, and waiting you don't do about those things. Have you spoken out against the policy implementations by the APC? Waiting you don't do for stand up to the current government?
Well, NDA are a political party, and the existence of a political party, Ibrahim, is for able for shape the will of the people, for able for represent people that are voiceless, for able for represent those that cannot represent themselves.
Right.
So the NDA as a political party don't they articulate a lot of the aspirations of the people of Sierra Leone. For example, the issue of jobs, we very concerned that even the young people Ibrahim wouldn't promote na college, come on a university, then parents them struggle very hard for invest in them so that they were able to finish college. Then they come down without the opportunity for them work. Then the language, a lot of them they way, if you go meet them, they sit on a tire base. So what we don't do for the past 2-3 years is articulate with vision for Sierra Leone, per se. The issue of providing a job opportunity for young people is paramount. So what we want to do is that we want to try to encourage a foreign direct investment. We want to look at the educational system when we have the opportunity to do that, for create the avenue where then we're able to invest in technology, help for create new skills so that we're able to use those ready skills then. On the issue, for example, how we for work for strengthening the institutions, and because we believe that some of the problems in Sierra Leone is that the institutions are very, very weak. How we strengthen them. We also don't focus on how, in fact, the rule of law, we will make sure it is maintained, an independent judiciary, a strong military. So we have always been on the forefront, Ibrahim, for articulate the issues, the democracy, where we believe, say, it will help Sierra Leone move forward.
And so if I can ask you, Mr. Ba, you know, what will be some of the policy implementations by the All People's Congress government over the past 9+ years where you know really agree with, and what are some of them where you agree with, you know, regardless of the fact that you are in opposition?
Well, Ibrahim, like any government, there are some things that they are doing good. There are some things that they are not doing good. You know, when we go back to history, the President Tijan Kaba's government been faced the challenge of stabilization because of the war, and also focus on rehabilitation and help for rebuild Sierra Leone. So when this current government came, the challenge was now how them for make gain of some of the things that has been put in place. I think on the issue of road construction, there is some good amount of improvement, which means that a lot of some of the highways then have been, you know, been focused on making some pavement. There is a lot of need in terms of feeder roads. Okay, energy security. I think the government has done some improvement in ensuring that there is energy security, but it has not been sustainable. That is the issue. On the issue of healthcare for lactating mothers, I think those are some good benchmark where we can look at. But you know what? There are other areas that needs to be worked on. In the areas of helping to reduce corruption, in the areas of helping to ensure that the institutions are strong, in the areas of helping to improve the economy. So I think government is an ongoing process. Government, I think it's a process where one set of people come, make their mark, and then the other set of people come and make good on it and continue the process. So that's such a mixed opinion in my humble perspective.
Right. And so Mr. Ba, you know, you run for the under the National Democratic Alliance as their presidential candidate because of the fact that you know, you just want for the APC, then time of office done, and you want for, you know, be the next person who will be president, or not something where this government don't do, it really don't spoil you into action, where you say, you know what, we don't need this in Sierra Leone, I'm going to step in.
Well, no, Ibrahim, I run for the highest office in Sierra Leone because I believe, say, I get a better vision, I believe, say, I have a better program, I believe, say, I have what it takes for able to make Sierra Leone go forward. Number one, I want for diversify the economy.
Okay.
I'm not happy that with the focus on this mineral-based type of economy. Now, only iron ore, diamonds, now the only source of revenue where you able to help for the economy grow. I want to look at with GDP sector. For example, if you look at the service area, it's very low. If you look at the industrial area, it's very, very low. So one of the aspirations why I run for the highest office is because I want work for improve those areas, such as the service area, such as the industrial area, and such as the agriculture, so that we'll be able to get direct foreign investment, so that we young people then we're able to get job opportunities, then we're able to get income and able to support them family. Because when you get job, Ibrahim Sheriff, it's a dignity for you for being able to take care of your family. Right. So another reason why I run for the highest office, why I believe, say, I have a better idea, is because I want to move Sierra Leone in a better direction.
Okay.
I want help for able to reduce corruption, so that we will able to get a sustainable fiscal cash flow. We go able for address some of those national priority projects then, where we not get to depend on IMF or World Bank. We able self-fund some of those programs. I believe, see, I get the leadership, I get the temperament, I get the judgment. We're able to do that. I want help for that rebuild those institutions in Sierra Leone. The judiciary, okay, the civil servants, civil service area, with military, with police, okay, those institutions. I want to change the educational trajectory in Sierra Leone. Okay, I believe, say, we still date back to the 70s and 80s type of education. Further College as a university, as an institution today, could you imagine not get an electronically functioning library? Further College today as a university need to get a lab center where students they will study science able get the opportunity for able to go on hands for able to do their job. Okay, I want to bring technology into the educational system, Ibrahim. It's so funny, there was one kid where we chairperson in North America, Matthew Young, when we go, he decided to sponsor this young kid now one primary school. Could you believe that same primary school system where they go register we and that book? Now that same thing. I want to see a computer-based type of learning in Sierra Leone, from primary school all the way to college. So I want to infuse technology into the school. So there is a lot of things that I want to do where I believe, say, I have what it takes for able to make Sierra Leone become a better country.
Right. Yeah, Mr. Bar, give me a second. Okay. So, Mr. Bar, so if I understand you very well, you know, when you talk just now in some of the videos, then why I don't watch, where you talk on digitizing most of the operations in Sierra Leone, I must say your government will be heavily dependent on the use of, you know, digital instruments, materials, and the internet. And so right now we must say they say Sierra Leone we don't get this fiber optic, but we don't know what they go on with this fiber optic as Sierra Leone, where in fact will be the fastest internet service in the country. But right now, as I'm speaking to you, and by your own experience, where you did at Sierra Leone, even for make you go download common data where you go able for use for like you know, they on Skype with, you know, business people and other things, then it's not possible. But the one that they work in a government, we can Skype with them. It's so easy, it's so clear how they're able to talk with them. So waiting at you approach to making sure that every Sierra Leonean get access to affordable, you know, internet service in the country?
Well, again, that comes to the program where we get where for make Sierra Leone go technology. Before I answer that question, let me give you a good background here. This was an issue I took up in Sierra Leone about NATCOM the position in terms of those mobile service company. Do you know say calls then asalo, when somebody make calls, they don't hear you call and the call will go through. When the person call you, the calls they drop. Okay, in other words, there is a poor quality of service.
Right.
Okay, NATCOM as an institution where they regulate that industry, they give them a mobile company a pass, say, let them increase the tariff on the services them. Okay, they will after 3 months, if they don't see any improvement, then they will take action. I was opposed to that position there. My position what I maintained was, first, this mobile company therefore make good on the fact that their service is being improved, call drop down minimized, the cost of making calls in fact has been reduced before they think otherwise. You know, one of the burning problems with the face in Sierra Leone, Ibrahim, is making phone calls, buying data is expensive. The young people are not even get income, they don't even get job. So how possible is that? Okay. Now the issue of fiber optics, they say fiber optics there, but do you know for download or receive text or receive messages them is a problem? So and if we review that, if I get an opportunity for hold the IS office, first for go through a stress test and see what's in the reliability and what's in the strength of the fiber optic, if it's one, and see how we're able to get an up to par so that it will provide the capacity that we need. Okay, and also I will do an in sync with providing the energy security by diversifying with energy sector. Okay, so it's a lot of hands-on approach we get to do, but I'm very concerned at this time that all young Sierra Leoneans they spend a lot of money just to make calls. All young Sierra Leoneans out there cannot even download messages or send videos because of the quality of the service there. So NATCOM now one of the institutions where I will make sure we overhaul, make them able to regulate these mobile service company so that the people of Sierra Leone will benefit and enjoy the service.
Right. And so, my family, for one not understand what we talk about digitizing information and other operations in the country. Now, for make internet service, you know, be provided to the people where they go afford and where go be easy for use, so that you know school picking go get access to books them online, to research materials. You know, teachers then go able for teach them students them from home. You be able for make calls. You know, then kind of thing they for make your life easy. Now that Mr. Badi talk about where in an area where some of you very highly interested. In fact, it will make the country they go before very fast. And so, Mr. Bar, let me talk about some of the thinks the way APC as an incumbent political party don't do in the country. And we talk about this because now then they in power right now. If now you've been there in power, we talk about you in this fashion as well. When they talk about a country that is running on a democratic system, we get a national constitution and all of that. Now, what do you think personally, morally, about the fact that among all the political parties in Sierra Leone, we have one, when they're ready for choose their own leader, then they follow a dictatorial pattern, just like how they do in other countries that when a dictatorship they do, instead of allowing the people to vote for whether they go on for like lead them party. Now one great person or few people that they come together, they choose somebody. Now I'm not saying that NDA you belong to, but morally, how you feel about that happening in Sierra Leone?
Well, Ibrahim, that's an APC question.
Right.
Then you need to ask somebody from the APC why is it that then conduct the convention in that format today. They said they have a constitution and their own constitution give them that guideline day. Now for the NDA,
Mr. Bag, just a quick observation. The reason why I asked the question is if you become president, I really want to know if there will be need for you to make any suggestions to even for review the constitution of Sierra Leone, for reflect that all political parties therefore follow democratic process for choose the leader, because the national constitution supersedes all other constitutions. So that's why I was asking that question.
Right. Well, I tell you what. Every political party gets their own what they call a party constitution.
Right.
And also, really, in the NDA, we get a party constitution. And so, I don't read the entirety of the APC constitution. So, if not that's their own format, how then they do them, and they think that's a democratic process, hey, that's them. What I know one thing, Ibrahim Sheriff, we as a political party, the NDA, held the convention, and anybody got an opportunity for buy for opposition, and the process was democratic. I believe in democracy. I believe democracy in a roadmap to sustainable development of any country. Democracy and the help for building institutions. I believe we need democracy in our judiciary. We need democracy in our civil institutions. We need for help. We need to be able to provide the avenue where anybody has the opportunity for make them voice be heard. If they want stand for opposition, be able to have the opportunity to do that. And very important in democracy that we have to be inclusive. Looking at it from a national perspective, mere mindset, mere attitude going to Sierra Leone for this election is that I see competitive people where we all vie for the same position. But I believe the issue would be about who has the best idea for charter the way forward for Sierra Leone. I strongly believe I have a better idea. I strongly believe that Sierra Leone need a new direction. I believe that I would be able to provide that. So I think we are going to give the people of Sierra Leone that choice. Let them look at we all. Let them look at we manifesto as a college in Sierra Leone. Let them look at we all will record them. And at the end of the day, it is the ballot box. At the end of the day, watching the people of Sierra Leone who that is vote and they will be the ultimate winner. And to me, I believe that's nothing before democracy.
Right. And so, Mr. Ba, if you happen to be the next president of Sierra Leone, you will be inheriting a government where don't amass a lot of debt. Now, some of you know say from 2007, where the SLPP they hand over government to the APC, they will not negotiate with all the one that will be giving money on loan. Then forgive all with debts, will not be get one debt. But right now, Sierra Leone don't get debt up to about $3 billion and more. And so you therefore inherit that one day. I mean, when we talk about infrastructure development, the roads they don't make with and they claim, credit for, We just hear quite recently the presidential candidate of the APC, when I be the governor of the Bank of Sierra Leone, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Secretary of the Ministry of Finance, they talk say for every 1 kilometer of road we then construct in Sierra Leone, it will cost about $1 million. And here again, we also during the constitutional crisis in the country, we then pass judgment against the elected vice president. Now it don't take that case now ECOWAS and it asks for $210 million. Now all the money they are now debts the way you get for inherit, and Sierra Leone don't get that kind of money. How you go able for navigate your way through them debts there as president for able for take care of these things amicably?
Well, Ibrahim, first of all, debt management therefore be a central part of the government.
Right.
I think say all the succeeding government, and I therefore give credit to President Kaba because he worked very hard for him for eliminate a lot of debt through the debt elimination process we will get the HIPC, what they call. Where in fact we will get down to about 100 million. So what you had to do, and they follow that template there. You know, I want you view as they know one thing. A country's economic strength is also determined by debt ratio. The ability of that country there for able make do and trust, say, when they get that sovereign guaranteed credit there, that they able to pay. So because then they put me on what they call the international credit rating system. Countries like Botswana, Rwanda, now because they get a very impressive international credit rating system, they're able to bring a lot of infrastructural development because they're able to get loans, okay, at a very low interest. They're not able to get loans then what we call like what we get in a high concessionary loans then. Loans that are very, very expensive. In fact, if you look at the loans amount they already pay, do you know say both domestic and international, just the interest alone, if you talk about 300 to 400 billion loans, that interest alone, we're able to take that money there, we fund the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Agriculture, 5-6 department ministries there. Imagine that. So what you need to do, and get a debt elimination strategy. The strategy is here. First of all, what you have to do, and then look at how we obtain loans then. And then make sure if we obtain loan, not just because we need the money, and then look at the interest rates. Okay? So that if we obtain, if we get them loans then they, and also we able to pay for them within. So the first thing we want to do now to change that culture there. For say I just go take money, I don't care after we left, now the one them behind me. No. I therefore make very responsible decisions then for work for eliminate the debts then. Because when you reduce the debts, you able to eliminate that debt there, you get that international credit rating. In fact, investors then, now that they tell and say you a very attractive country for them come, for them even can invest there. Okay? Because like I always don't say on national TV in Sierra Leone, when Toyota company one can Sierra Leone for can invest, or other small medium companies they one can for car, then they run what they call a risk analysis report. You know what's interesting? People outside Sierra Leone, international companies, international governments, and they know about Sierra Leone than me and you. Do you know that? Wow. They know about Sierra Leone more than me and you. So these people run a risk report, and when they look at that, they see a country with a high debt ratio. They see a country where we not even get a judicial structure where we're able to settle commercial disputes. It will discourage them from coming to Sierra Leone for invest. So the debt would be one focus while we work on to reduce. Number one, fiscal management responsibility. We therefore cut down how we spend. We spend so much than how much we receive. Look at me budget after budget. How much we spend? Okay, it's more than how much we receive. So we will get what you call a balanced budget system, wherein we spend less, we earn more. Okay? With that, we are able to begin to pay for some of those debts there. I'm sorry, and able to reduce them, and then able to get an international credit rating, and able to compete, and begin to tell investors and say, look, man, Sierra Leone is a very good place for you to come and do business. In fact, Sierra Leone is ready to offer you capital investment. We even tell Sierra Leoneans then, we the one come say, look, this is not the Sierra Leone of yesterday. If you come to Sierra Leone, my government is ready to match credit loans to you if you want to invest, as long as you are able to provide investment. So it's all about fiscal responsibility. It's all about a culture of driving down this debt issue. Okay, then we will see how we will get a very resilient economy, and then we're able to provide the investments then where people then desire, and then improve their lives.
Right. And so, informative for Wuna understand the international credit rating, very important. Where Mr. Bade talk about that's now the countries then where would they go all money as debt. If we're not able to pay the debt, then we rating they go down. So next time where the country they need for go borrow money, we then pull that rating, then they see say we not they pay debt, then not they ever give money again. The people then go suffer. That's what Mr. Bade is talking about. For let we able for just properly present Antona. And so, Mr. Ba, let me talk about, you know, your political party in Sierra Leone. You know, waiting you go able for tell we based on the fact that in Sierra Leone, majority of the one that way they vote, then they vote there on sentiments, and some of them sentiments them now either on tribal line or regional lines. You know, people that way you go school with, you know, people that way you sabi, then kind of they not they vote on the merit of who that get the ability for able for move the country forward. So what you go tell me about the strength of the National Democratic Alliance in Sierra Leone?
Yeah, you know, before I say that, Ibrahim, that's why education now other foundation we I get for embark on if I have an opportunity for serve the people of Sierra Leone. Right. Because you know, when people they vote on sentiment, they look and say this is not my area, this now will come on from the same ethnic group. That they tell you the level of education. Because when you have an informed, educated mind, you get the ability for able for look say, you know what, despite this man I'm a brother, or despite this person here will come on at the same village or same town, but you know what, this person get a very good idea. That's why I think we need to invest in education. I agree with you. Unfortunately, this has been the history where people they vote based on ethnicity, based on religion. But you know what? Sierra Leone don't change you, Ibrahim Sheriff. A year or two ago, when I've been doing a radio program, I tell you, say Sierra Leone don't change. Let we know. Forget say the WhatsApp, the internet. I'm surprised to find out say the young people in Sierra Leone are very informed. The young people are very informed. They are watching CNN. They are watching Al Jazeera. Then they read their WhatsApp. So there has been a lot of social mobilization going on. And so that's why I believe this election is a very defining moment for Sierra Leone. This election, again, will be about character. Again, will be about the direction of Sierra Leone. And you know what? You and me, Sidonaya, but the people that were fed up, now the one that were in a Freetown, were in at the ground, they fed up past you and me. They want better life. They want a better school. They want a better hospital. They want something better, just like how when they see the young man at Lagos, what he able to do, or the one at Dakar. This alone man safe. Instead want something better. So I think this election therefore provide an opportunity for Sierra Leone for when we begin the vote now based on issues, based on who that we believe say will make this country. It is going to be a very surprising election. I tell you this. This election is going to be a very surprising election.
Definitely.
This election will get for hearing from the young people then. And the message we then get for give this time, it will shock we all. I believe that.
And so plenty of the other political parties then they talk say no matter who that win, whether na Mr. Mohamed C na Kande Yom Kilao, na Mada Bio, anyone will win, they not care, but they no want for let APC stay in a power. Did you share that sentiment?
Well, again, that's why election is there. Okay? For me, my attitude, Ibrahim, is all the other political parties, they are my competitors.
Right.
I go and compete with them. I compete with them not as enemies. I compete with them, all of them, as brothers and sisters, because we all get that common nationhood day. My own attitude, my own style is about Sierra Leone, about who that gets the best idea, the best judgment for move that country day forward. That answer belongs to the people of Sierra Leone. We all go on the ballots. Let the people vote. When they vote, we don't say Salon don't speak. Whoever they vote for, all of us would have win, we congratulate them. Would have lose, we should congratulate next time. But the main issue there is democracy is about making sure that the aspiration and the will of the people is protected and promoted. So that my new attitude, I am ready to compete, and I am strong conviction that new party is
right, and so we get less than 21 days for let Parliament go remain in session as Sierra Leone, you know, as per the constitutional mandate. The National Electoral Commission just don't introduce a statutory instrument in Parliament about the candidature fees for una they run for those offices, including the office of President, Parliament, Paramount Chiefs in Parliament, you know, local councils and all of that. Now, yes. I want to know the Parliament don't reject that statutory instrument, and people then get this fear for say, especially like civil society groups, then get the fear for say, if then delay, you know, discussing or debating on that instrument, and Parliament, you know, dissolve, then obviously that will interfere with the electoral process. Is that something that you are concerned about?
Yes, I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned about that. I think that candidature fee is excessive. I believe, say, the need for reduce them. At the last election, that issue came up, and what in the government do, they subsidize. I think the direction that we need to do, election democracy should not be expensive. The issue here is the people's will, the people's voice. I think, say, there has to be an understanding, say, people have a right to vote and to be voted for. So I think, say, Parliament, it's almost on Parliament now, for make them look at that bill there, make them work with NEC, because NEC don't submit them requesting, make them make a reduction, because all the political parties, them, including my own party, don't express the deep concern about that. That we feel, say, that is expensive for a country like Sierra Leone, that is an overreach. So this is a concern that a lot of the political parties express to NEC, and that's why NEC submit. So my appeal here is Parliament give a look at this issue, not from a financial and monetary. I understand. I've been there at 98.1 with them executive, the publicity director, Mr. Masakwe, a very
all right, so my family look like we don't lost Mr. Ba a little bit. We don't lost him. Let's try to see if we could able to get him back on. We don't lost him for now, but let us see if we can bring Mr. Ba on for let it in. Of course. All right, I don't know if you don't. I don't know if you know, say we don't lose some. Let's see. right, he's still talking and we seem to have lost him. Alright, so it's still not working, ladies and gentlemen. So that's Nabi Mohamed C, of course, presidential candidate for the National Democratic Alliance. And of course, a talk to we from Atlanta, Georgia. He's on his way to sojourn back to Sierra Leone for continue with the democratic process. And so now that's been get for tell we Naya. So if I'm with them, we get for open with lines then small in case somebody they out there we go on for, you know, say something towards everything we don't happen today. Naya inside we broadcast. We'll get for open the line a little bit so that we'll go able for Brancan to you exclusively. Alright, so if I'm with the one for let me stick around while so they try for make this happen. Okay, stick around with us as we make it happen.
This situation we don't happen at Sierra Leone today. Waiting that you don't take on everything we don't go on at the country, because every year this flooding they happen, people that they lost their lives. What is your take on what is going on?
First of all, the panelists there, Mr. Desmond, I want to say thank you for your sacrifice. We you they give for the country, we all in the fence. And it's for same thing to you, we the Canada, we can't talk about we country and sacrifice. We don't know what will happen to you tomorrow because of what you say now. So that's a great sacrifice. And even if something not happen to any of we or any of now, a gift out of your free will to the people therefore inform them. So I say thank you, and then the host, Mr. Sheriff, for your service to the nation, and especially the Sierra Leoneans and the diaspora. You do a very good job for sending out the message to let people that know what thing they go on at the country and then government. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Leon take on this, the brother Sierra Leone, a culture of corruption are the root cause of this problem. Corruption, yes, I know I'm politicized, waiting they go on because people have not lost their life. But we're not able to talk about them kind here without to not mention the culture within our country. Because everything they begin with how you lead us to go. We lead us in this, they don't show twice. Ebola and this. They don't show the incompetence of we leaders them and the corrupt nature of we leaders them for a very long time, and they manifest themselves right now. So now why I say why are they
all right, and so me fam with them, of course, na that the interview will give to Mr. Mohamed C. Of course, if anybody they we want for call we for talk about or for make a comment or say anything with regards to the broadcast will bring come to now today, the lines are open, and of course the number where you for call now 832-614-6242. If you're outside of United States, of course, you know, so you get for dial 0014 before you dial that number. But the lines are open right now, and of course, would they encourage anybody for call we right about this time, right?
we said we are going to hand over. And if Captain Strasser decides to change his mind, and I am part of that group, I was not ready to be a part. Two of you have an interest that is inimical to the interest of this nation. I will not follow you. Even if we have agreed, I will break that agreement.
One example, at one stage I thought we don't have more than $30 million just for economic development projects. To build one road alone, 1 kilometer of a road costs you nearly $1 million. To have 1 kilowatt of electricity.
I get opportunity for change. Now that's me they tell una. Una forget mind. Let nobody no hide behind tribe or something else. Then you go beg una bell una. Una put her inside, now in pocket they full up. Somebody talk about declaration of assets. Yes, we all for commit. All of us for declare we assets. Me, I believe that all of us, but enough for be one person, everybody for do one.
You see, even the banks in Nigeria, they own them, Lebanese own them, Indian man they own them, now Chinese don't take over now. You not gonna believe this. When you go, Ibrahim, Sierra Leone, you go really know say we Sierra Leoneans them, we don't left back, we don't be third class. You see Wilkinson Road, you go about in all them big mansions, the hotel, now foreigners that own them.
Definitely the issue of Sam Sumana forming a coalition, for me, I'm focused on my main agenda at this moment. That is to make sure that I bring back justice for the people of Sierra Leone at the ECOWAS court.
I think we have been fighting corruption in this country based on legislative pursuits, legislation. But that's one step. I call it the one-legged solution. If we want to address the issue of corruption in Sierra Leone, we're serious about it. Those that are behind the desk of trust need to understand that they are there to serve the people, not to serve themselves.
We are deeply saddened by the loss of our people. It makes us sick to our stomach. We shed tears. It's really hot. We are speechless, still shocked, and don't know why all these unfortunate incidents are happening to our beloved country, Mama Salone. On behalf of the East End Artists Union, I want to join the government and the rest of the people of Sierra Leone to mourn the death of our precious brothers and sisters due to the August 14th disaster, which will always be in our memory. Article for you.
It's a podcast music.
Salute people, they cry, Daddy God, please can set me free. Mama Salute, they cry, Daddy God, please can rescue you. Plenty things really happen now, we land me, they make me confused. Say nobody no day for God, Daddy God now you will choose.
Make we pray for them, for good road, make it not happen again. Now we land up. Say make we pray for them, for good road, make it not happen again. Now we land up. Hey, ato, mangula mi ato, hey ato, me people let me ato.
I stress me people them and every rest. From the 14th August, I get the news from the press. She was out there run me high. From my brothers and sisters, we not able to survive. God save Mama Salone, forgive her sins and heal the land. God save Mama Salone, return to righteousness, Sierra Leone.
Now me prayer, you prayer, come, make we can do one together. Yeah. This one in painful and sorry, make we pray, make it not happen again, yeah. Nah. See plenty people long go, now we dey feel the pain. Yeah. See we country they cry, who da go way behind?
Yeah, your promises are good. You're the source of life, so many souls away. Who's hide and go, who's part and dig, no one else today. I pray you go keep them, now your hands safe. Oh Lord,
cover them like shadows, number upon number. You make a remember the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. Acts make this happen, say we the pray. Forgive us, Mama Salon, say we the pray.
No wonder we don't die, may they rest in peace. Because now God they give them life, don't take so we brother and we sisters of the victims, span this disaster, makes them take yeah, rest in peace to the one that way done lost their lives. Hush to the victims and the one that way done lost their wives. It's painful. Papa God, we are now for see we through with tears now we eyes are the big now for see we through.
It's been a while we don't suffer. Sierra Leonean tries and be stronger.
I say
no matter hard the situation, we go live like one nation.
The past decade we been facing rebel war and bring on kitty gata. Another year with the Ebola virus and kill me 50 fata. Every day I keep on wondering and pondering what is happening in my country. Just one big man take over the night and bring me landslide, and it don't take away so many lives. All the wonder when die so painfully. Mona soul rest in peace, rest in peace. All the wonder when die so painfully. May your soul rest in peace.
People they cry. Daddy God please can set me free. Mama Salon they cry. Daddy God please can rescue me. Oh, plenty things may happen now we landed they make me confused. I say nobody don't there for God. Daddy God now you will choose.
Make we pray for them for good road. Make it not happen again. Now we land oh. Say make we pray for them for good road. Make it not happen again. Now we land oh.
Daddy God now you name we dey put first you. So many souls now we country yes we don't lost. Where the pain make it not go happen again. No, now we country no more.
Why Salon every day we dey cry for this one grain Salon. Papa God decided to tell where you for F sweet Salon. Flooding, landslide, push far from Salon.
Yeah, any problem we come with you, man, them we the suffer most. Daddy God, please intervene, plenty don't lost. Where I see I want to destroy people, tears they run me eye. Mama, Papa, small picking, oh, look how them die.
Some look people then they cry because of this disaster. The Muslim then they call her fitina, some call her Nimisa. If he baffle was him out and they walk up but this not the last one.
I say no matter how we try, we cannot stop it, cause this is the will of God. Say this one ya eat tomorrow, we don't lost, we be love one them. Even though we not don't go, we still they remember una. They say oh show, so the family way down and left the end.
Wait in peace, so we the pray, make it not be again. The precious life we give we, you not forgo in vain. Maybe, para God, you don't vex and we. Look Mama Salon, they cry, please, sorry for we.
Really painful, for see always Mama Salon, they cry. Papa God, do ya calm down, right now and wipe we eye. Cause we don't suffer too much, and the pain too much. Calm down and Epsilon.
Hey, rest in peace. So we comping picking them. Put angel dumb to sleep. Water from nowhere come and flush them. Hey, and now he's here. Me family them too so yeah. Make me not blame nobody. Daddy God na able na in no the reason. Oh God, forgive us for our sins. Things them can happen, but this one in money. So we the picking them in acts, make we be the one that we don't pass. Make God be the
people they cry.
Yes, me family them. That's na East End Artist Union. Of course, mudslide tribute we then sang after the mudslide in August. Of course, we want to tell them plenty thank you for we then do that piece right there. Of course, me family them. Now, so we come to the end of our live broadcast today. But of course, you know, say 2 minutes after we'll close down, you go able to see everything we'll done broadcast today. We want to take an opportunity of this moment for tell una all plenty thank you. And of course, I guess some people in here, so maybe they watch with me. Of course, I want to recognize them. Mufti Kebs from New York, I want to tell you plenty thank you. Of course, Vandy Con Jakima. Let me actually wear my glasses so I go able to do this right. Okay, Vandy Con Jakima, of course, Ibrahim Sheriff. I want to tell you plenty thank you, sir. Umaru Ibrahim Sano, Lance Berry. Oh, Lance Berry, that's my man. I hope so you still watch, man. What say you there now? You there Canada? You there Salon? Where are you, Mr. Berry? Of course, that's Lance. I want to tell Mr. Michael Momo, that's my big brother in California. Thank you very much. Of course, Mok J, Frank Kanu, thank you. Mansare Bemba Solo, of course, thank you very much. Macmillan Carter, I want to say thank you to you. Idris Tabuani, Mohamed Sano, of course, that's my own brother. Dennis Koima, all the way from Australia, Sydney. Dennis, we want to say plenty thank you to you for where you watch. Of course, Prince Bob King, thank you. Sarah Nandikwe, we want to say a lot of thanks to you. Lawrence Magona, Ibrahim Masiba again, of course, Josephine Kapua. Oh, that's my sister in Nova Scotia, Canada. Thank you, Josephine. Of course, Maury Banyan, Amio Boboda, and they just joined with. Thank you very much, guys, for when I watch the show with we today. And of course, every weekend, we will come to una exclusively from the Blue Room. And of course, this is not Sheriff's Broadcast Network. Just after we'll close 2 minutes, you go able for Sierra to hold on broadcast today. And so once more, one for tell una plenty thank you. Let us continue for keep with eyes on the country. It's a critical decision-making time for our country. For Sierra Leone go before or go behind, they come up from March 7, 2018. The kind decision we'll get for making the country. So tomorrow, we don't want to blame anybody. Not say, oh, now you are blamed. We'll continue to go before. No, you have the powers now to make it right. All right, my family. So I want to tell you plenty thank you for where we want to hang out with we now so today. Thank you very much. This situation we don't happen at Sierra Leone today. Waiting that you don't take on everything we don't go on at the country, because every year this flooding they happen, people that they lost their lives. What is your take on what is going on?
First of all, the panelist there, Mr. Jesmed, I want to say thank you for your sacrifice. We you they give for the country, and we all in the fence. And it's Fore, same thing to you, we the Canada, we can't talk about we country and sacrifice. We don't know what will happen to you tomorrow because of what you say now. So that's a great sacrifice. And even if something not happen to any of we or any of una, a gift una the give out of una your free will to the people that for inform them. So I say thank you, and then the host. Mr. Sheriff, for your service to the nation, and especially the Sierra Leonean and the diaspora. You do a very good job for sending out the message to let people that know what thing they go on at the country and then government. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Leon take on this, the brother Sierra Leone, a culture of corruption are the root cause of this problem. Corruption. Yes, I know I'm politicized waiting they go on because people have not lost their life. But we're not going to be able to talk about them kinds here without to not mention the culture within our country. Because everything they begin with how you lead us them go. We lead us them this, they don't show twice. Ebola and this. They don't show the incompetence of we lead us them. And the corrupt nature of we leaders there for a very long time, and they manifest themselves right now. So now, why are the